Our new partner who I'm really, really excited to announce we are working with. Super, super stoked. Thank you, Angie Huberman, for this connect. It's incredible. AG1 Athletic Greens. I've been using them for a while. I have them every morning on an empty stomach. Basically, take one scoop and you put it into a cup or glass or mug of 8 ounces of cold water. And this is all your greens for the day. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Every day I take this. It's so good for my digestion, my energy. It's simple. It's easy. I don't like taking a lot of vitamins. This has been really, really helpful for me. I've had a lot of stomach issues my whole life, and ever since I've been gluten-free and taking the AG1s, it's really helped me in my stomach in the mornings. I love it, and I'm so psyched that they're part of the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm sure a lot of people don't like eating greens, let alone drinking your greens, but I can tell you straight up, it's got a mild tropical taste, and the taste is actually really refreshing, and I really look forward to it each morning. Don't think it's just going to be just straight bland. It tastes really, really good, and it's good for you, so remember that. This one blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's incredible, just one scoop, especially for musicians who are vegans or just musicians in general who want to get those daily greens. You can get the packets. It's incredible. I just gave some to my friend Derek from Sepultura. He traveled the whole entire world this summer, and he had those every single day. He said it saved him. I bring AG1s with me when I travel. It helps me stay healthy. You know the deal. If you're on tour and you are a picky eater, but you need to have your greens, sometimes catering doesn't have greens. Sometimes you miss the catering. Sometimes you miss the backstage food. Sometimes it's too late after the show to go get food that you like. So if you just have a scoop of AG1s in your hotel room before you go to bed, or you're in the hotel room at night and you're starving and you want something healthy, boom, life changer. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with some convenient daily nutrition. That's all you need, one scoop in a cup every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. This is it. I'm super psyched. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. This is incredible. I love it. It's just basic greens. For me personally, this has changed my life tremendously. I'm not a junk food vegan. I don't eat a lot of fake meats, so I'm strictly greens. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful new addition to my life. So once again, visit drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. Get 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115. With the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. And if you want to get water, Liquid Death water, go to amazon.com. But for merchandise and other things that's not water, go to liquiddeath.com/Toby and get free shipping. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst, stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I got a new friend in my kitchen. We met recently a couple weeks ago through some friends, been around each other many, many years, different acquaintances through other people and all connected in some way. But Two-Tone, thank you for being here, born and raised.
Toby, thanks for having me.
Nobody, I can't really say your real name, huh? It's Two-Tone?
I mean, no, I said Alex Two-Tone.
Okay,
people call me Alex. People call me Two-Tone. People call me Alex Two-Tone. Okay. Some people call me Chones.
Okay.
At the poker table, they call me Chonies.
Okay.
Don't know how that happened, but it stuck.
I have so many friends like from New York. I don't know their real government names. I just know their graffiti names like most of my life.
Yeah.
And like now, like we're all in our 50s. I'm like, can I just know your real name? Nah, I'm good.
It wasn't a choice because that name followed me from when I was a kid.
Okay.
And you meet people through other people and they introduce you as this Alex, but then they go, which Alex? Two-Tone. So everyone calls me Two-Tone. I don't tell anyone, and when I introduce myself, I say my name's Alex, but sooner or later they go everyone, that's just how they identify me. So it's one of those decisions you make early on that you don't know is going to follow you into, adult life.
So where did Two-Tone come from?
Basically, the story is this. I used to write Era, which is not a great graffiti name, ERA.
Okay.
And I was at this dude's house, this dude in the neighborhood named Vision, who was like a legendary graffiti artist, still is. And I was there with a kid named Fade, Mikey Nunez, and probably, I would guess, either Kamlo or Peanut. Anyways, we were all there.
Yeah.
And it was my first time at Vision's house. I'm a little kid, and I'm just like, I'm looking around. I'm like, dude, this guy has like framed, connected graffiti pictures. Like he had everything clean, framed, connected graffiti pictures. There was like I'm sure it's not a big deal, but there was looked like a submachine gun hanging from the fucking in the closet.
Damn.
Just like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And I could maybe, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw that, but who knows? But he's introduced himself. Hey, I'm Vision. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, what do you write, Holmes? And I go, I write Era. And he looks at me and he's got like one lazy eye. And he looks at me and goes, no, you don't. And I'm just like, oh shit. What do I do here? He goes, my homeboy writes Era.
Ooh.
And I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't know what the move is. Like, and Mikey goes, you should write Two-Tone because like you're mixed. And I was like, okay, there it is.
Wow.
And the rest of my life,
that's
from
pretty
that
sick,
moment,
though. Yeah.
I'm Two-Tone. Yeah.
So somebody else was already writing Era. You didn't even know that.
No, I didn't know that. That was a toy. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was just happy to be in the room,
It's crazy because living in New York with a lot of my friends and their crew, they were graffiti kids before they were hardcore kids. So when I started hanging out with everybody out there was all these fair ones I would watch with J.A., my boy Isaac, and all these dudes would write, and just seeing all this stuff I had nothing to do with, but they were my boys, so I witnessed these things with Ghost and these fair ones and all these things. I was there watching like these one-on-ones and chasing people with them. Like, let's go to this tags of MQ and all these dudes I knew growing up. Like, MQ was still killing shit, but like, so it wasn't my world until I moved to New York and was absorbed into that, through hardcore. But it wasn't I breakdanced and shit like that, but I never tagged or nothing. But yeah, a lot of my friends in New York were all connected to that world, man, which is a crazy world, dude.
Well, those are three, for people that don't know, those are three very heavy names in my opinion. J.A., Ghost, and MQ.
Yeah.
Right. And
Ghost
even
was way older too. It was crazy.
Ghost was, and I hope I'm not conflating this, but Ghost had a bunch of backup names. I think one of them was Super Glue.
Okay.
I think he did these. I think it was him. He used to do these Super Glue pieces, and I hope I'm not misquoting this. I just remember being a huge fan of Ghost. Ghost was fucking all three of those dudes, style kings.
Okay.
And prolific. J.A. and MQ are still out there.
I know.
Sometimes I fly in New York, and on the way out, I'm like, it's just 30 throw-ups on the freeway. I'm like, holy shit.
There's like a mailbox on Beverly or something covered in MQ stickers. I was like...
Yeah. Lifers.
And he sent me a random DM the other day. He was like, yo, and he sent me a picture. It was like me and my son. When my son was a kid somewhere at Riska's house. Long time ago, Riska's house. But yeah, I was like... But that was never my world. But I was kind of thrown into it because I moved to New York when I was 18. But... it was all amazing to me, like just the whole culture and subculture and world.
That crossover too. MQ is just maybe all time. Just I don't know, one of the illest.
So, okay,
one of the.
But
illest.
I don't know him. I just know him as the dude I hung out. I watched him put those stickers up. I was like, I didn't realize the impact of him, what he still has.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
New York had a crossover with graffiti and hardcore music. We didn't. We didn't have that. I didn't even know what hardcore music was until like I had a job in Orange County and I met a straight edge. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're straight edge. What is that? Like I had no idea.
Yeah.
Never even heard. I knew what punk rock was and stoner rock, and I knew what punks were because I grew up in Venice.
Yeah.
And we had a very specific style of what punk was, and that's all I thought it was.
So graffiti crews were separate, and there was gangs. Graffiti crew was separate than b-boys and stuff in New York. They had the New York hardcore thing with graffiti. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, there were b-boys here, and there were gangs, and there were graffiti crews, but there wasn't any hardcore. As far as I know in L.A., I didn't know of any. There was punk in a different vein,
maybe
but it
the
wasn't straight edge.
because that was like from Suicidal, and that was, I don't know, maybe not.
Suicidal was like punk, stoner, like, and all that shit. There's like Beer Nuts and all these fucking bands you see in backyards and, just local bands, fucking all that stuff. I mean, it was but I had never been exposed to what hardcore is and what straight edge is. And I had to have it explained to me, and I still was baffled. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. And then I met my first emo dude, and I was like, what are you?
Your first emo dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
This is like, late, maybe very early, late 90s, early aughts,
Yeah.
And
I met my first emo. That's so fucking funny.
Shout out to Keith Moon. I remember seeing him. He came in. I'm like, oh, this dude's gay. Like that was just like, okay, cool. And then he's like, I'm talking to him. He's just very just like, and he goes, I have to call my girlfriend. I'm like, your girlfriend? What do you mean? And like, I was even
have the hair and shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, the hair, the makeup, the whole shit. He was gothic as fuck, and I just never had been exposed to it. You know what I mean? And I was educated. I was educated on all of it, and I was mystified. But there's worlds. Look, it's pre-internet. It's pre-social media. You don't know what's out there, and there's a million things out there. I still don't know about. But
if you growing up in Venice, you're probably the first person on this podcast that actually grew up in Venice. Like, people hung out there and went to shows there and stuff like that, but you grew up there and with graffiti, gangs, just everything, surfers, skateboarders, all kinds of culture, man.
It was a definite specific SoCal melting pot mixture. I think it happens in Long Beach. Okay. I think it happens in Oxnard, like where it's, low income by the water. So you're going to get gangs and you're going to get like kids doing shit in the street, skaters, graffiti writers, surfers. And everyone has the same mentality, which is like, it's not nice. You know what I mean? Everyone's kind of in the same, like, so you
scary.
Right. The surfers are beating up the so-and-sos and people are getting shot at and everyone's smoking crack. And that was the 90s, But, it was wild times. It's fun. It's fun. There's a lot of it's fun. It's scary at times and exciting and, and it's all gone.
Were you in the streets at a young age?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, I was out writing graffiti and, yeah.
You have siblings?
I do. Yeah, I have a half sister and I have a half brother on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, were you like going to school? You a good kid in school? Were you in there? Like, you be like?
Well, yeah, I was in school. My body was in school. I physically entered school sometimes, but you didn't
like it.
No, I never really adapted well to school, and I was also like heavy. I was so obsessed with graffiti, and then also got so obsessed with drugs that and then I had to leave home at a certain point because of some things in the house. So then I had my own place at like 16 or 17.
Wow.
Yeah, I had my own place at 17, and the thing was like, okay, well, take yourself to school. And I wake up in the morning and there'd be like, a joint, or some beer. And I'm like, I either like going to get stoned and draw or go to school. And, and I just did. I dropped out of school. I somehow dropped out of high school, like in just a very, like, I just turned around one day and I wasn't in. And I remember I went back to school. I went to nutrition, like to check in, and it was like I didn't know anybody. Everyone, my whole crew was gone. The table was empty. Like I had just let all this stuff pass me, and I was like, I guess I'm out. And then I just completely dedicated my life to like graffiti and things like that.
Your parents weren't strict and stuff, were they? Or?
No. My parents were divorced early. I lived with my old man, and it was chaotic. So there was no street. There was nothing. It was just kind of like, when I was still living there, I would leave on Thursday because I also like in high school I started going to raves, right? And I would leave on Thursday to go to like the club, and then I would end up coming home. I'd leave Thursday, come home like Sunday. I'd just be out.
Damn. And
then Monday through Wednesday, I go to school, but like sleep, just to sleep it off, and then wake up drooling. And then that Thursday, I'm back at it. Like that was my routine.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, and it was like, hallucinogenics, and it was like I felt like I was having my version of like what my old man had in the 60s. Like I was like, where I'm having, I felt like I love everybody, and I found a community and family and all this shit. I really just wanted to get high.
Okay.
So I was really, really into getting high. Really.
How old were you when you started like partying?
I mean, I think that was really, I think it really kicked off like 16-ish, 15. I was partying, like smoking weed as soon as I could remember, early. My old man, we had,
was it in the house?
Yeah, let's just say it was part of the family's business in a way.
Okay.
Let's just say something like that.
Okay, I got you.
It doesn't matter anymore. Who cares? It's prohibition's over. Who gives a fuck? So there was weed in the house all the time, and the house was very open, and it's just kind of like everyone's house
party
in Venice.
And everything. Yeah,
everyone's house was like that in Venice. I mean, there's kids, if you go to their house before school, like parents will offer you a line.
Wow.
Like you want to so it was crazy. Everyone, the whole neighborhood was like that.
Damn. Were you skating too, into skateboarding?
I skated as a means of transportation, but I never got it together.
Okay.
I just, I would skate like I checked out of skateboarding And by the time I did, I was like, I could do a power slide with like you put both hands on the ground.
Oh yeah, no.
I could do like a power slide, and like I barely could fucking ollie.
Yeah.
You know, I just skated to get around.
What about surfing?
No, I didn't surf. I boogie boarded some. I didn't surf too because it was like, you know, like I was really into graffiti, and that's what was drawing me. And also like the surfing thing was so hectic. You know, like I had a friend and. You know, he got jumped in the local surf gang, and I was like, I don't know, you know, and like I heard that this kid got a snorkel stuffed up his butt, and I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. Like,
that shit's real, huh?
Oh yeah. It was every gang culture in the 90s in LA infiltrated everything. So if you're a group of kids outside doing something, there was a gang element. Like even our graffiti
skate gang, surf gang, graffiti gang, punk gang.
Even our graffiti crew, which was not based in Venice, started at one point in the 90s. We just started jumping people in. I mean, we get in fights all the time, whatever. But then they started jumping people into a graffiti group, which is bizarre.
Wow.
Because that's not what graffiti was.
You have to have a skill.
Yeah, and it happened for a minute because it was just part of the zeitgeist. Like everything was, you know.
Yeah.
It was supercharged.
Yeah.
And it was in the 90s, early 90s to mid-late, like gangs had LA in a vice grip. And it was like the rule of law was just like alpha male, just bully energy. And like the biggest bullies got all the respect. That's not how it is now.
Yeah.
You know, but
did you have to grow up fast, kind of protect yourself in the streets and prove yourself, or?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say like I had to grow up fast and protect myself. I think I definitely, I think I didn't like. I got in fights, but it wasn't my MO. I wasn't always getting. I always felt bad for dudes. Like when like. People would be jumping someone. I feel like, you know, like if it wasn't warranted, I'd feel bad. I'm like, fuck, this sucks. This guy doesn't deserve this. You know, like I always had a soft, like, my heart was never in it. Let's just say that. Yeah. But I also am a big dude, and like most times people wouldn't want to test. Yeah. Like I would just be like, I would just bluff. I didn't really want to fight. I mean, and also when it comes down to it, if I am going to fight, it's like I have to get pushed. And when I get over that point, I don't want to be that angry. You know, it's too much. Like, you know, and yeah, it was never really my bag, you know. But I mean, I can defend myself, you know, and I will. But you know, it's
crazy growing up in New York and like thinking about California, and you're seeing like that gang culture, and like, oh, what's it like out there? There's palm trees, it's beautiful. There's an ocean. You don't think about, because in New York it's just like neighborhoods and different boroughs and stuff like that. And then you watch those movies growing up, all the West Coast movies, American Me, just Boys in the Hood, all this stuff. And then I move out here, and it's like. One of the first months I lived here, I was riding my bicycle from Trader Joe's, and this car pulled up next to me, and the dude was in the lowrider. I was like, where you from, Holmes? And I was like, yeah, I'm from New York. He's like, all right. And he drove away. I was like, holy shit, like, this shit is real. I'm all tatted up, head shaved. I'm like, oh yeah, shit's crazy.
You might have some Dickies on. Yeah, you could have had a white T-shirt on. You're wearing a uniform.
But I'm on La Brea, bro, by Trader Joe's. But it's like, I was like, holy fuck, like this is.
You get caught slipping anywhere.
And then the only times I've been fucked with by the police is twice. Like, where you from, Holmes? Are you a tweaker? Threw me against the wall in Santa Monica. Asked me what was in my bag. I was shipping merch. I was all by myself, and I got fucked with twice. Like, checking me. Like, I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah,
shit's real.
No, that was listen. That whole deal was part of the deal. Like, where are you from? Like, sometimes the thing that would save you from that is just what shoes you had on, because in the 90s it was very specific.
And New York helped too. I'm not even from here. New York's good. I'm from New York. It's fine. Yeah.
I'm from New York. They're like, okay, whatever.
Or if you're in Cortez, it's a rap.
It's a rap. There's no talking your way out of that. You know, and that was just like, you know, and I remember like. I think I would wear Dickies and white T-shirt, but I wear Docs, you know, because I wasn't trying to fucking get that heat, you know. Yeah. But you kind of wanted to wear the Cortez too. It was like,
we rocked those in New York though, and Dickies. And I stopped wearing and moved to LA straight up. Yeah. Because you could get the original ones that were nylon. Those were vegan by default. It was synthetic suede, and we love those nylon Cortezes. And then I started buying the swap meet out here, like. We loved, like, all my friends, we loved the whole LA, the canvas belts, and just all that LA shit. Being in New York, you know. We wore Carhartts and Chuck and Timberlands and all that other shit, but like, I don't know, something about California was just intriguing, man.
Same. I mean, I love the New York shit. I remember like going to, you know, you see, you know, you start listening to Mobb Deep and you're like, what the fuck are these guys wearing? Oh my God, Helly Hansen. Yeah. I gotta get one of those. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even warranted to wear that in LA, but like.
But even the Carhartt before it was whip. Like Carhartt, you just get it from the fucking Army Navy store, which is crazy how that became something now, whatever. But like, all of us rocking all that shit, man, in New York. Everybody, and then like hip hop, everybody started shaving their heads. And then like Onyx are like shaving their heads, wearing Docs and wearing flight jackets. Like, I love all that shit just like meshed together.
Yeah, the workwear.
Yeah, and it was like the skinhead look too. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. Well, there weren't any options, right? Like the streetwear didn't really exist. There's a couple companies.
Yeah.
And you're either wearing, workwear or on some polo shit or,
555 Soul.
Right. That was the beginning of this whole thing, right? Of all these things happening. I mean,
Fat Farm, yeah.
Fat Farm. I used to work at Eddie Bauer, like when I was a kid.
Okay.
And Eddie Bauer was like, that's where you get, like, that's where the ballers would come from my school who like sold dope, and they'd pull up and they'd be like, buying all the fucking, corduroy shit and like, all that crazy, like, supposed to be for expeditions or camping. And it's like all these fucking gangsters are wearing all this like crazy Eddie Bauer shit. Or if you're really about it, you had the Eddie Bauer Explorer, it was like,
damn,
preppy. You're dressing like a preppy, waspy person to emulate the idea that you had money, right? So that was the vibe. So,
and Ben Davis too. Fuck, we loved Ben Davis. You couldn't get none of that shit in New York though.
Yeah.
So you move out of your house. So what are you doing to survive at that point? You're like a teenager, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just getting by.
You working at all, like working jobs?
In the beginning, no. My old man doing some money, like, because he felt bad for what was going on. And
yeah.
Like, but eventually, I started trying to figure out how to do things. And there was a point when I did start working, like, I had I was a roofer and I worked as a plumber's assistant. I worked at Bay City's Deli and worked at a shoe store. At one point I had all of those jobs at once. And
damn.
So
you're working.
I started working, yeah. But, and then after a while it was like this, I remember at one point being like, damn, maybe one day I could be a plumber, like really,
it's
really
a good trade, man.
Yeah. Like really looking at guys in my neighborhood. I'm like, that dude's got a truck and he has a house. And I'm like, fuck, what if I was a plumber, and then.
So you had good work ethic. You were like down to work.
I was down to work. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing was like, I'm very down to work, and I can also be incredibly lazy and self-destructive. So it's like a weird, I'm either one or the other.
Are you wilding out a lot when you're like moved out and you're on your own? You kind of just.
Oh, it was chaos. I mean, we used to have, my crew would come over, and they would come to my house on a Friday night, my apartment. My apartment was a block away from this place in Venice called the Pavilion, which is where we all painted. It's been torn down now. Now it's a bunch of these walls that are on the sand.
Okay.
But it was a giant amphitheater, and it had all these walls and barbecue grills, and people used to skate there all the time. Sick. And I lived right up the street from there. It was my apartment on Pacific. So the whole crew would come over on Friday. We get drunk, right? We get fucking blasted, and the idea was like to hang out all night, get up at 6 a.m, go paint the yard. But then we would also get drunk and just spill out of my apartment and just bomb everything. So like,
damn.
If you look at my apartment, there's just graffiti radiating. Like we weren't even smart enough to go down the block. It was like graffiti radiating from like everywhere, just around
from your front door down the street.
just down the whole street. It was like the stories in that place. I mean, there's people that I meet who are like, I used to go to your house all the time. I don't even remember. Like it was chaos. It was pure fucking chaos. Like it was out of control. And I mean, there's endless stories. But I remember one time. My dad was like asking me about, he's like, I know you write graffiti. I was like, okay. I never told him anything. And he goes, I just want to know, like, what is it you're doing? I'm like, I'm just painting, I'm doing paintings, whatever. And he's like, art. Okay, yeah, I'm doing art. And then he one day was like coming over to my house to give me a piece of his mind because he knew what I wrote and he saw my name on a parking meter and he was going to come over and like be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he said he walked to my house and he looked to this wall to the side and there's just huge like AWR block letters and he's like, oh fuck it, I don't that was the last time he was trying to like parent, you know what I mean? He's like, it's over.
Wow. So that was your crew, AWR?
AWR, yeah, AWR, and then MSK, but AWR was the beginning crew for me.
MSK is big. I know that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. MSK was basically like it started as a feeder crew to AWR, right? And
what does that stand for? AWR.
All Rights Reserved, Always Rocking, Artwork Rebels.
Okay.
They started this thing called MSK, which would be a feeder crew, like a B League, right? And you get an MSK and then you get an AWR afterwards. And AWR, was like the bigger, stronger, crew. And what happened was that one of the guys in MSK was like, fuck this. Let's make MSK the shit. And GK, and he's the president of MSK. And he basically turned MSK into this like monster crew. And AWR became kind of like the sideline. Like we became the B team, right? Okay. Because they're relevant. They're younger.
Yeah.
Now all the MSK guys are in AWR and vice versa. Like it's all one thing. But,
still around too?
Oh yeah. We just had a 30-year reunion.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. And it's like everyone got all the fucking skeletons, everyone came out. And it was like, you see guys, you know, I mean, these are guys that I spent my life with. Like I spent like, you know, I've known these guys since I'm a kid, you know, since 25, 30, 34 years, some of them, you know, like that's, and you forget time goes so fast. It moves on and you don't realize, and you see these guys, you're like, I've known you since I was a little kid. You know, I've eaten at your fucking mom's house. Like, you know, we've watched each other puke and what all these other things, you know. Yeah, we all, you know, and it's like, it's crazy. I mean, you know, in the world of graffiti, that name is, I think,
legendary, respected.
There's a lot of weight, and I think, and I will say, I'll stand by this. I think that I think MSK, I don't know, MSK maybe probably one of the best graffiti crews in the world, if not the best. I don't know. It depends who you ask or what time period, but you know, you're not going to not mention that name. So
how big was it back then when you say it's big? Like,
back then, I mean, I don't know.
Hundreds of people or not?
I mean, I don't know if hundreds is
it's only Cali?
No, there's people everywhere. There's some new people that got in recently.
Okay.
So it's spread out. Now and there's always been people, and you know, we have people in England, we have people in everywhere around the world. Yeah. So it's a global organization at this point, you know.
And then there's beefs with other crews back then and all that kind of stuff. And
I mean, there was beefs. You know, I can't really speak.
It's just people tagging over each other and writing over each other's stuff and disrespecting, right?
Sure, but it turns into other things. You know, like AWR always had beefs with, like, we had rivalries, we had beefs, and sometimes it would heat up, sometimes it wouldn't. You know. And I think more than crew on crew beefs, there's just like, it's more like people have beef with each other. You know, like it's rare that like you're riding, like MSK is riding against this crew or whatever, but like there are beefs that flare up, and it depends who you're beefing with. If you beef with the wrong guy, you're going to catch the beef in a way that's not pleasant, you know. Yeah. And it gets to that level, you know, because this is a contact sport, you know, and like you kind of got to be willing to take it to wherever it needs to go. So
if people tagged over your shit, you would get fucking like for disrespect and
yeah, of course. Like you know, someone, like if I did a piece and someone wrote on it, you know, you're like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna stamp you back. And you know, again, I'm fully retired at this point. I don't do graffiti anymore. I love it. I mean, I never stopped drawing, but like I stopped bombing, you know, I stopped doing that stuff. It just kind of like, there was a point when I just had to like kind of make a decision.
Did you get arrested a bunch of times doing graffiti?
Yeah, I get arrested. Like, but it was a joke. You get arrested.
Fines and shit or no?
Yeah, you get fines, you get community service. It was like, you know, at some point though, they turned into a felony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I think like 10, 15 years ago, I don't know if it's not now, but there was a period where they turned graffiti into a felony. I'm sure some political reason. And, you know, broken windows theory, et cetera. And they made it a felony to write graffiti, and then they were starting to put dudes in prison for graffiti.
Wow.
Yeah, and dudes were going to the pen for graffiti.
Holy shit.
Which is like crazy, you know.
It's totally crazy.
Yeah.
You think now it's more, not normal, but I see so many murals and all these things around the city, and just like now, I mean, people see it more as art now, I think. Yeah, I appreciate it more, or?
I don't know if I think that it's...
Maybe understand it more, or I don't know.
Everything has become accessible and to a degree watered down.
Normal.
And normal. I don't
like
think,
tattoos, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, everything is now like something that you can just like jump in and jump out of.
True.
I don't think that the guys I'm talking about belong in that bucket, but I will say, like, you know, there's this great video of this kid. I think it's in New York. I love this video where he's like crying because he went over somebody and the guy socked him, and he's like taking a video of himself saying, like, crying about it and being like, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm like, you're missing the whole point here, bro. Like, you missed the whole thing. That's not what this is, you know. And like people think it's like there's, you know, it's not a safe space. It's not this isn't a place where you come to be. You're owed respect for any other reason. You're respected because you're good at what you do. Yeah. And that's it, you know. And if you're lame, you're not respected. So, you know, that's kind of how that goes. But
yeah, were you like climbing up bridges and going like this high spot?
I hate that shit. I was talking to my podcast with GK about it, and I was like, I tried to do one heaven, and I was like, fuck this. Like,
what's it called?
A heaven, like get up on a billboard, you know.
It's a heaven. Okay, wow.
Yeah, and I did it once, and it was like a semi went under the billboard, and the whole thing shook like this. And I'm like, you know, on top of the freeway, I was like, I don't have it. I'm a little heavy for that shit, man. I'm not, you know, I'm not a small guy, and like jumping up over fucking fences and getting it's hairy. It's hairy. Did
you ever tag up in New York and stuff when you?
When I would go out there, I would go, bridges for sure.
Is up sick, man.
Yeah, I would go out there and, like, you know. But I honestly, like, I'm not like, I'll be straight up, like, I don't think that my graffiti career is close to what the guys in my crew have done. Like, I think like I did my thing. Yeah. And I was like a part of a crew and I did work, but like there's guys that have done things that, you know, I don't know, far surpass anything I ever did. And I have the utmost respect for graffiti and graffiti writers, and I always will, you know.
Yeah.
I can't get it. I thought for sure when I was a kid, I was like, this is something I'm going to do. And then when I'm 30, I'm going to have a golden retriever and a fucking white picket fence, and like, it'll be something I did. To this day, I cannot, like, I'll never stop looking at it. I'll never stop recognizing it. I'll never stop doing it and even drawing it and thinking about it. Like, it is wired into my brain, even though I quit, you know.
Yeah. Were you into art and stuff as a kid?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I used to draw, I'd paint, you know, I still do those things.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I can, and I find it actually more enjoyable than almost anything else I do.
Yeah.
You know, sitting down, like drawing a portrait or doing something like that, to me it just feels really
it's therapeutic
nice.
too, probably.
It's nice. It's just like quiet. I put on music, I draw, I got my pencils, my pens. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to draw, do this thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you think that's going to be your life if you start like a company based on graphics or art or something, but it ends up quickly being not that, you know. It's something you get to do once in a while, not something you get to do all the time, unless you choose to become that, you know, do that as a profession, which, you know.
Yeah. Did you have any goals when you were out of school and were just hanging, living? That you wanted to do?
I didn't really think that. I didn't have any goals. I just wanted to be good at graffiti, and I wanted to get high.
Okay.
I didn't think I was going to be around too long, you know. As a kid, I didn't see it. I was like, I'm not going to make it to 30.
Wow.
That's what I thought, you know. And I just kind of, I was not thinking, and I wasn't prepared for life or what life is or anything. You know, some kids come out and they're ready, like they have a plan.
Yeah.
You know? Whether it's their plan or their parents' plan, they got a plan. I didn't have a plan. I just kind of was like thrust out into the world, and it's like, okay, well, figure it out.
Damn.
And I did.
Yeah.
But listen, I did it the hard way. I didn't, you know, it wasn't nice. You know, it wasn't, I made a lot of messes, you know, but, you know, it is what it is.
But leading up to the brand, what kind of stuff were you doing involved in? Were you creating with other people? Or did you work for other companies?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I had I worked for this one company. I think I've done a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
When I was a kid in Venice, and I was kind of figuring out, I couldn't figure out what to do with myself. This guy was like, you should do tattoos, right?
Wow.
You should become a tattoo artist. And I was like, what? It was like, what do you mean? And this was like at the beginning, like the only tattoo artist the only graffiti writer that was doing tattoos at that time was Scene, right?
Scene, yeah.
And it was like, and I remember seeing that, because all these things to me were like, wait, I could be that guy. You know, I'm a little kid, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And this guy gave me a rope. He gave me some hope, because I didn't have any hope for myself. I was lost. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I was fucking whacked out on fucking listening to Gen X and Coke, all these things. I just was like out there. And he goes, you should just start drawing. And I go, well, tell me what to do. He goes, I'll teach you how to tattoo. And I was like, okay, I'll do whatever you want. So he goes, get a book and fill it up. J Fish. I always talk about this on my podcast. J Fish, guy from Kentucky, sweetest guy. He goes, get a book, and he's like, two-tone, get a book and fill it full of, just fill this thing full of fucking drawings. I just want you to start making banners. So I'm drawing banners.
Banners, yeah.
And he goes, and draw skulls, and I'm drawing skulls, and now draw roses. So I have a whole book just full of skulls, banners, roses, straight out of the fucking 90s. Everything has that weird kind of like bulbous 90s, like slightly b-boyish look. It's all fucked up, and like the perspective is all warped. You know, one eye is super big, and the banners, you know, it's all got this weird graffiti element to it too. It's a mess. But I did this. I filled up this whole book, you know, and it was the first time I'd ever done anything. Like I'd never done, you know, I didn't do anything. I never finished school. I just bluffed my way through high school and do everything. You know, I could just like show up to the test and figure it out. Like you know,
damn.
But I filled out this book, and I'm just like, wow, I actually completed a task, you know, which is also I found very hard. I couldn't complete anything. And I think and I started working on another book, and then he had me making needles. You know, back in the day, tattoos would solder them together, which is, it's like a terrible, you know, you have a jeweler's loop and you're soldering these like, you know, rounds together, or like the magnums, and like I'm trying to solder needles together.
Jesus.
And somewhere in the middle of that process, I went back to school, and I went to SMC, and I got my high school diploma, and then I got myself into film school.
Wow.
Yeah, I a switch flipped, and I was like, okay, I think things like that, like someone taking some interest in me and being like, you can do something,
believing in you,
taught me that I could do stuff. And I was like, okay, well, if I can do that, let me try this other thing. So I did that, and I got into UCLA Film, which was like, you know, at the time, not an easy school to get into.
No, it's awesome.
and I'm in school, and
you loved film. You loved all that
I
stuff.
love film my whole life. Yeah, I love music videos and film, and I was always. And so I got into film school, and it's funny because I think when I was in film school, I was like 24 or maybe 25. I started late, and these kids are coming out of high school, coming out of their parents' house into film school with me, and they're just like, they were like babies. Like by the time I was their age, I'd already seen everything.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to them. I'm like, these kids are, and these kids are like making these like existential films about the human condition. I'm like, you guys don't know anything. Not that I was any better, but still, I just was like, I was trying to rip off fucking Belly, like,
great
in my student film, but, but yeah, I go to film school, and again, like, there's a lot of things in film school I couldn't, like, the things that I love were like talking about films, and the one of the professors was like friends with Scorsese, so he'd do a whole class on Scorsese.
Wow.
And just break it down, and like, or he would say like, go watch a film and like reverse engineer it. So I took Taxi Driver and I reverse engineered, like wrote every line down, like I rebuilt the script from watching the movie. Damn. And you really see the mechanics of it, and you just blows your fucking mind, like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so like that, I learned some really valuable stuff. And then when it came to cinematography, I hit a wall because my math is not good, so I couldn't really figure out like exactly how to get there. I never really figured out, like, I've done photography and done things, but I've never actually figured it out properly,
Mm-hmm.
So there are things where I'd hit a wall, and then eventually what happened too is I just I couldn't focus. I would go to class, I'd fall asleep in class. I have this like narcoleptic thing where like when something is painful for me, I'll just go to sleep. Like my computer shuts down. So
wow.
Somewhere in the middle of that, I got offered an apprenticeship, but Jay Fisher's had left, and I got offered an apprenticeship at this place called Tattoo Asylum in Venice. And it's again, like one of my problems is I don't know how to say no to shit. Like, oh, here's an opportunity, I got to try it, because who am I to say no to anything? Yeah, I'll try this opportunity. So I'm in film school. They offer me an apprenticeship. I'm kind of waffling in school, and I start taking the tattoo apprenticeship, and I do a few tattoos, and then I drop out of film school in good standing. I have this fantasy about going back because I can go back whenever. Yeah. Because I left in good standing. I'm like, I'm gonna go back and take the writing program. But anyways, so I started doing tattoos, and
are you good at it? Getting good at it?
I'm all right. I did like 10. There's some terrible tattoos floating around out there. Like I see once in a while, I'd see them. I'm like, oh fuck, you got one of those, huh? But I used to love to draw. I mean, listen, tattooing is a very, like, tattooing is akin to, it's a blue collar trade. It's hard. Like, the drawing is like a tenth of it. You get to draw on paper, and then the rest of it is like you're applying a tattoo. It's work, and it's craftsmanship, and it's and it's like and there's the blood and all the pathogen shit, which is like, I didn't love that, but yeah, I started doing the tattoos, and then there was like a thing where like they couldn't keep me in the shop, and they wanted me to tattoo out of my house, and I was living with an ex-girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I don't want to tattoo out of the house, so I kind of stopped doing that. And then I started doing graphic design and like trying to work as like a designer for people, and like I'd work with Aaron Levant, who used to be, back then, he's like a tycoon now, but back then he was like kind of an intern at this place, at this company called Green Apple Tree, Gypsies and Thieves, and I would try to submit designs to Aaron, and it's just like I'd like draw a piece and like photocopy it on a piece of paper and bring it to him. It was like full caveman shit. Trying to figure it out. And I'd take commissions, and then whatever, all these other things happen. I'm also like at that time trying to get. I'm also getting sober.
Okay,
around that time, I realized in my early 20s, like, oh, the jig is up. This is not going to work. I started really getting in trouble, getting arrested, and overdosing, all those things that happen when you're into these things. And
catches up with you.
Catches up, and because I'm an alcoholic, and I do things alcoholically, and one is never enough, and a million is never enough, and all that bullshit. So I started experimenting with just like abstaining from doing stuff. So like,
how old are you then when you're doing that?
Early 20s when I started. Like, I'd be like, I'm going to do a couple months sober, and I do 9 months, and I did a year, then I did 3 years. Like, I was trying to figure it out. Everything else in my life, I've just had to figure it out on the go. Fucking build a plane while you're flying it. How does this work? I don't know. No guidance. No fucking structure. Just like, how do we do this? How do I survive here?
Are you talking to your parents at that point?
Not really. No, not so much.
Yeah.
Not really. It's chaotic, and,
so you're learning everything. There's no father figure, none of that stuff. Yeah,
not really. Like, no, I wouldn't say no. I mean, my dad was there, but not there,
Yeah.
And so, Love my dad though. If he does listen, my dad listens to all my podcasts and shit. Love him.
Shout out to Pops.
We all did the best we could do at the time, and
Yeah.
him and I are great. But he had his own trip going on. So, but yeah, and then eventually, like, let's fast forward. I hit 30, right? And at 30, I don't know what happened. Like at 30, somewhere along the line, I got a job as an art director at a clothing company. Right?
Okay.
And I was desperate at this point to do something because I was terrified. I'm like, my life is going to go down the fucking drain. I dropped out of film school. I'm not tattooing. I'm doing freelance graphic art.
But you're sober.
Yeah, I'm sober, but I'm like learning how to be sober.
Yeah,
having stints of time, and I get a job at this clothing company, and like I just kind of go to the interview, and I'm like, it's in Orange County, which I was like, I'd never been to Orange County. I don't even know what Orange County is. Not a fan.
Culture shock from Venice.
Not a fan of Orange County. This
Same.
was not. It was not. It just like I remember going to a fucking supermarket, and this guy had like an Iron Cross tattoo, and I'm like, where am I? Like, what the fuck is going
tats.
on?
Yeah.
Like that culture is just very much what you know what that is.
Yes.
And so, and then at some point I got a job as an art director for this denim company, and I was like, I just wanted a fucking job, and I was like, oh shit, I got a job. I'm making like $50K a year, and like I was like, holy shit, I fucking made it. Like benefits, and I get the job by bluffing, as I've done my whole life. I just kind of bullshit the guy, like boom boom, I know how this works. Like I had the thing is that I wasn't bluffing because I had the thing that you have to have, which is like ideas.
Yes.
And I had perspective on things happening culturally in the zeitgeist and what was happening. That I had. But what I didn't have was I didn't have the technical skills. That's where the emo guy came in.
Okay.
Sir Keith Moon sits down next to me, and he's a whiz at Photoshop. And he's just sitting there, and he's just quietly just clacking away. And I go, okay, what's the hotkey for this? How do I do this? How do I lasso this? How do I knock this out? And I learned on the job.
Wow.
But I was like, technically his boss, and I'm asking this guy,
wow,
and I'm asking this guy to like show me, how these things work and blah blah blah, and he did. He taught me Photoshop right there, on the clock.
It's awesome.
And eventually, like I just, that flamed out. I left.
With you a couple years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was too much.
You probably learned a lot there. Yeah,
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned so much. I learned so much shit. I learned to express ideas, and like, I learned that like if I had an idea, it could actually come to life.
Yeah.
And that's a big, like that's a huge leap from, I talk to people all the time, and they talk about like, I want to start a company. I'm like, where it's not going to work. I'm like, that's not the worry. The worry isn't whether or not it's going to work. That's not just starting the company itself and functioning as a company. Even if it doesn't work, it works because you did that, right?
Yeah.
So there's no failure. And this sounds like some bullshit like Instagram fucking, life coach shit, but I've done it. Like it's like if you just start the thing and you go through the steps and you make the product and you have the product in your hand and you did it, then you're like, okay, that's a building block. Whether or not it's successful is another conversation.
Totally. And
if you know how to like take that and learn from it, then you're in business. Like one of the first things I did one of the first things I did where I made a product was I used to do prank calls all the time, right?
Okay.
I was a huge...
Like the Jerky Brothers.
Yes. That was I love prank. I would call people, we get high, call people. So I started recording my prank calls.
Sick.
And then I made a CD of the prank calls, and I made 1,000 CDs, and I just gave them away. For me, that was a huge thing because I made the calls, I put them in the CD case, I designed the CD cover, I labeled it, and I gave it away, and people loved it. And like that was one of my first experiences with making a product.
Yeah.
And it's like these little things that you do. There's just like these tiny little building blocks.
Yeah.
And so that's
awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It's interesting that the moments that like actually stick out that actually help develop me as like a person who's now an entrepreneur and a creative person by trade, right? So,
so after that, the jean company.
I got the job, and I left that job, and like,
Did you have anything set up? You just left and trying to figure it out?
I don't think I had anything set up, and I didn't. I had nothing set up. I was just going to be a freelance graphic artist. And I remember too, my friend lent me her fucking what did she have? She had a Nova. She had a jacked up Nova.
Sick.
She just bought it. It was this jacked up fucking Nova, and she lent it to me for the weekend. I remember like literally peeling out of the parking lot when I quit and like leaving rubber trail. Like it's so dramatic. I was like, Brah! Like just flying down PCH. Like I was, we all suffer from fucking main character syndrome, right? You don't know. So,
did you have a name for yourself in that world at all at that point or no?
I've always been known as Two Tone. Did people know who I was?
Like the marketing.
Yeah, I think people were like. Somewhat, that guy, that guy knows how to do this, and he's he's talented. And then what happened was, a guy that worked at that company approached me, and he goes, "Hey, I know a guy that owns a silkscreen facility. Do you want to start a clothing company with me? And I was like, kind of dubious. I was like, I don't know. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I go, I'll just take the meeting.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Right. And it's like famous last words, man. Like, you start having a conversation with someone, and all of a sudden you turn around and like 6 years go by. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? So we go in the room with this guy, and he goes, I had the pedigree from working at the company. This guy had made a blazer that he showed him. And the guy goes, you guys want to start a company? Let's go. I'm like, what? And that's how it happened.
Damn.
And the guy just let us start a clothing company in his facility right there. And we started this company. And again, that company, which, I made a lot of mistakes. I learned a lot. And I also ground myself into a pulp where I would work there. Like, cause I basically would design everything. I would sit there, I would tweak on like a button. I would make the most insanely, cause I felt like more was more back then.
Yeah.
And I felt like the more you design stuff, the better it is. And it was in the era of like when Christian Audigier popped off and all these things. And like it was like in the second or first, maybe the second wave of streetwear, and it was kind of, streetwear had like popped up and died, and it was kind of coming back, and we were kind of in that pocket for a minute, and then we kind of went men's contemporary, and I was making these hoodie, and I was over designing everything. I was like, it was just out of control.
What year was that?
Probably 2005, I'm guessing.
What was the brand called?
Ugh, I don't even want to say it. It's terrible. I don't want to say it because I hate it.
I fucking don't say
it. I hate it.
Okay.
And I you can find, I don't know, whatever. I need to scrub the internet. So
what was popping back there? Like Fresh Jive or no?
Fresh Jive's around forever. Fuck's been around forever. Those guys have been around for fucking ever.
Oh geez, bro. Yeah.
Oh geez, man. Yeah. They were around, but it was like again, like that market. That Stussy's always been around. Like that market had like mellowed at that point.
Yeah.
So then this new market popped up, which was like celebrity driven, Kitson, fucking Paris Hilton trucker hat. Like that era exploded. Christian Audigier, Von Dutch, like the most insane fucked up shit.
It's a sick documentary, by the way.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. So Von Dutch, and then what is the other one? The tattoo guy named after him. That was another big one. The trucker hats.
Ed Hardy.
Ed Hardy, bro. Yeah.
I remember I saw the first Ed Hardy shirt. Ed Hardy's a legend.
I know.
As a tattoo artist. Ed Hardy's like, that's Ed Hardy. Like, because as a tattoo artist apprentice, you're taught like, this is Ed Hardy. Right?
Yeah.
The Don Ed, like, he's a king in tattooing.
Totally.
Right? And I remember seeing a shirt with an Ed Hardy print on it before it was like season 1.
Okay.
And the shirt was like obnoxiously expensive. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is a beautiful shirt. This is fucking amazing. And then like quickly after, it just turned into fucking dog shit because they just.
Yeah.
And hopefully he got his bag. I'm not, and no disrespect to that guy at all, because is and will be a legend because what he did in the game. I mean, his paintings, all his stuff is top notch.
So it's like the time Von Dutch, to be dazzled, just all that
stuff. Yeah. Which is funny because like it's coming back now. I go to like AA meetings and
velour suits and shit.
All that shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Then Juicy was born from that. I mean, there's that whole era. And like 20 something kids now love that shit. They're wearing all that shit again. Everything's cyclical, right? It just keeps coming around and around.
Big ass baggy Echo jeans, all that shit. Audio shoes, all the book. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, my son was anyway. But go ahead.
So I'm in that company, and
does it do good or did it do all right?
It did good in that. It did good, but me and my partner kind of took it from the guy that we partnered with originally, or we bought him. I don't know how that worked.
Yeah,
because we realized that like you just listen, we're kids, and the money was like, there wasn't separate accounts. The money was going into the giant account for the whole thing. Like,
damn. And
we started doing some accounting, looking, and I'm like, wait a minute, you owe us like $60,000. Like you start figuring things out, and then we pulled the company from him and we sold it to someone else. So I made some money there.
Cool.
And then down the road, like my other partner wasn't a part of it anymore, and then that company that bought it sold it to another company. So like, and so I went from Gardena to Compton, and then they sold it back to a company in Orange County. I'm like, fuck. And they're like, you get to go to Orange County. I'm like, I'm not going to Orange County. You can move there. I'm not fucking moving there.
Hell no.
So I basically made them give me enough money to where I would go down there. And I go down to Orange County, and it didn't work. We were in the building with like, we were in a distribution company with like 10 surf brands. Damn. And then us. And then the guy, one of the guys would come in and be like, you guys should make True Religion style jeans. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So eventually that got burnt out. But before I left that company, I used, because I was in charge of like, again, I'm the creative director, so I'm doing all the graphic design, and I'm doing the photography, and I was like, hey, you guys, we need to start doing video. This is before Instagram, social media. I go, we got to make a video. my plan was to make, this whole time that I'm doing all this shit, I'm straying away from what I want to do, which is like, I wanted to shoot music videos. That was my dream. I used to watch Rap City and MTV Raps. I was like, I got to do that.
All that shit,
I have to do it. It was burning me inside to do it. And so I figured out like, and also at the time I was like friends with these guys in a group from the Valley called Styles of Beyond, and they started.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You know those guys? Yeah. Good friends of mine. Shout out to Ryu and all them, and then they started a group with a guy named Scoop DeVille, who's Kid Frost's son, called the Get Busy Committee.
Okay, he's producing shit now too. Scoop.
He's still producing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And as their friend and like the fuck around guy, I became the creative director for that band. So I would do all the graphics. I would also help them write songs and say like, hey, have you guys heard of this group? And like kind of produce behind the scenes and like kind of give them my influence, you know?
That's cool.
I can't take credit for everything they did. I was just like little pockets, in that style, like, oh, check this out. You guys heard, like MIA had just come out. You guys heard MIA? Oh shit, what's this? And they fucking start running, And I also was like, also featured on a bunch of tracks. Like I would like do skits and like I was just involved.
That's cool.
So that was happening, and I convinced the clothing company that I was a part owner of at the time, that was licensed to another company. I was like, hey, we should make a music video, and I'll populate it with clothing from this company. But I just wanted to make a music video.
Yeah.
So I make this music video. I make my first music video, and it's a fucking smashing success. Like, it couldn't have gone better. It was one of those things where I was like, holy shit. Like, it didn't have to go that way. I got a really good DP, like a world-class DP through friends of mine who lived in Los Feliz, because I'd moved out of Venice. I moved to Los Feliz at this point. And through friends of mine that, were legit film people, they're like, hey, hook me up with a DP. He crushes it. All these ideas that, again, I had this experience where like I had all these ideas.
Wait to do this, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what I want to make I want to put a jacuzzi that rotates in front of the camera, and I made that. And I want to have a shredder, like something you shred. I want to put items into a shredder. Like I want to put a brick of cocaine into a shredder and have powder shoot out of it. And I want to put my dog into the shredder and have feathers shoot out.
Wow.
So like all these gags I came up with, I saw them come to life.
Damn.
Just by me talking about it and having discussions with people. And it blew my fucking, I was like, holy shit. The line between an idea and reality is way thinner than anyone even understands. It's just getting together with some people and figuring out how to make shit.
Yeah.
And that sounds corny as fuck, but like it's true.
Yeah.
So figuring out like, how do I, if you need to have a flying saucer made, well, there's a way to fabricate it. You got to find the right people. You got to talk to the right people. You got to reach out. So
where did that video live? Because there's no YouTube back then.
No, it was on Vimeo.
Vimeo. Yeah,
it was on Vimeo.
Okay.
YouTube was around, but Vimeo is where you saw videos at that point.
Yeah,
YouTube wasn't really popping for videos.
That's right.
But yeah, and I'm in the beginning of the video doing like a skit. Like I'm fully immersed in this shit. I'm also sober at the time. I remember specifically being sober at the time because I was in this small room shooting the beginning scene, and Scoop DeVille's smoking fucking blunt, and like the weed is hitting my face, and I'm getting so high. I'm just like, I'm fucking stoned on my first music video at like 6 a.m. So yeah, I shoot this music video, and like, listen, my friends came out and helped, which was like, to me, like my friends came out and donated their time.
That's awesome. Yeah.
My buddy Ravenetta came out, who ended up being like an art department guy, but he helped me build the rotating jacuzzi. My buddy Jimmy came out, like, guys from my crew came out to be in the video. Like, fools came out to support me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I got to make a fucking video. And I remember like feeling like it was like one of the few times in my life where I felt like I was flying, like, and for a year I just made music videos. And I would,
after that, you just like,
I left the company. The company left. A company actually kind of fell apart. I left, and let's say the company fell apart. It kind of dissolved, and they didn't want to fund it anymore, which is perfect because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I leave, and I'm making music videos, and I have all this money because I had saved all this money from like they kept giving me money, but so I had a bank account full of cash, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make videos, and if I see someone that needs a video that doesn't have money, I'm gonna pay for it. It's a stupid thing to do. I would never recommend the same, but I'm fucking stupid. So I would find someone, and I'd be like, hey, I love what you're doing. I got $5,000 for you. Let's make a video.
Wow.
And that's what I did, because I didn't want to come in laterally. And I started a production company. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought like anything else I did, it would just work. It didn't work. It was a fiasco. But I started the production company. I had like insurance and LLC, and I'd run videos through the production company. I had producers do the rap books and all this shit. I had no idea what I was doing at all. So I'm making music videos, and like I'm finding talent, breaking talent. Like I saw Iggy Azalea. You remember that?
Yeah.
I saw her somewhere on the internet. I was like, hey, I think you're this and this. Let's do this. And I made this video for I made like their first 5 videos or something, before
For
she
her?
got big. Yeah.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah, it was like, shit like that, different time
sick.
too.
Yeah.
And I was doing like, I did a video with T.I. and Exhibit, and I did a video from my friend's band called Liars, and like, I just like was whatever I could get a hold of and do, I would do, and I was rabid for that, and I was.
So you're getting a name for that too. People were like,
yeah, I think so.
Want to work with you, yeah.
I think I'm getting a name, but I don't know. I think people are
T.I. and Exhibit, that's pretty sick too.
Sure, but I didn't have representation. It was just word of mouth, and also people are seeing me as the guy that will make your video, right? Like they're like, that guy will make you a video, because I was out of my mind. I was like, I'll do anything.
That's
like,
right.
He'll throw money at it, He's
you won't
fucking
get record label money or nothing.
No, just pull up. He'll make a video. And I was doing that, and I did it for a long time, and somewhere along, so I'm on my way, and I'm making videos. I'm doing these things, and again, I'm doing this shit without a net, without any understanding how it works. I don't know how the system works. I'm not trying to get signed to a production company. I don't even know how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it, and I'm working with a bunch of people, and I had a DP I worked with named Andrew Wheels. Shout out to Wheels, good friend of mine. He was like fresh out of AFI, super talented, brilliant guy, and he helped me. It's like that's why these things worked, because I had quality people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I didn't have great DPs and good producers and people that kind of knew how to, great editors, nothing would have happened.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm doing all that stuff, and then
you're not making money because you're spending.
I'm not making. I did not make $1 making music. I made nothing making music videos. Negative.
So you probably go through all your savings.
I'm just chewing through my money, right? I'm chewing through my money, and because I didn't take it seriously, because I made that money so easily, and I didn't respect money. I had no respect for money. I just was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll make more. It's no biggie. Yeah. And, I was fucking young and stupid and et cetera.
Are you like mid-20s?
I think either that or early 30s.
Okay.
Not mid-20s. Probably early 30s.
Okay.
But still dumb. No, early 30s for sure. For sure. And so and somewhere along that line, I'm doing these music videos, and I meet up with Spanto. Right? Okay. Spanto's a guy from Venice. And I had moved out of Venice. And I had been like, I just kind of removed myself from all that stuff, because Venice was a place that if you let it, it's like an amazing place and a beautiful place. But if you let it, also it can fuck you up, because you get lost in the sauce. Like Venice is endless summer on drugs all the time. It was, like you would just be, you go out one day in April and you come home in November, and you've been at a barbecue every day, and you're fucking wasted, and you have 2 kids. I don't know. Like it was just, it was crazy,
Yeah.
And also like I realized like everyone there partied so fucking hard, and I was trying to get my life together. So, so I moved out of Venice, and and I had a mutual friend. Shout out to Casey from Seventh Letter Eclipse, and he was like, "Hey, Spanto's looking for you." And I knew who Spanto was. I'm like, "Why is Spanto looking?"
You knew the name and stuff.
Yeah, I knew the name.
Legend,
yeah. And I was like, and I knew, and I'd seen him around when he's younger, and I'd seen him around as a kid, and be like, when I was older, I'd see him as a little kid, and I'd be like, that's one of those fucked up kids. Like, that's a bad kid. We were bad kids. Like, we steal car stereos, do graffiti, but that's a bad kid. And I remember seeing him. I was like, you could just tell they're malevolent, And him and his fucking crime partner, you see him out there all the time, just like running amok. And then so I hear this dude Spanto's looking for me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm not paying attention. And I'm still, actually, when this happened, I still was at the tail end. I'm making music videos. I'm at the tail end of my old company. Yeah. So I'm doing a trade show. Okay. And I was doing a trade show where I had used these pictures of dudes from Venice for like some of the art, because I had these pictures that came from this guy named Sean Ross had given me pictures that were in an old storage unit that the guy from Fresh Jive also used to make a book, but he also gave me the pictures, so I used some of them on clothes. One of those things. Got you. Spanto sees a booth with like all these fools from Venice on it, and he like tags on the booth, and like and then later on that day I see a sticker that says "Born and Raised. Gentrification is genocide." And I see this
first sticker. That's right.
The first sticker I see.
American sticker. Yeah.
Yes, and I see it, and it's in a sea of other stickers, and I was like, "Whoa!" It cut through everything. It was just cut through the whole fucking shit. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, "This is one sticker." Like, no one was political. No one was trying to be political. No one was making a statement. No one gave a shit. Right? Yeah. Here's someone who's trying to say something, and it struck a chord. Spanto's tracking me down. He's hitting me up on Twitter. He's persistent. He goes, "Hey, I want to talk to you. Okay, let's meet at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf." And we meet up there. Very charming, gregarious guy, and like I'm forgetting that, like his history, Yeah. He's from V13. He's a gang member, right? Okay. And a real one. So, he's telling me all this stuff, and he's talking about his life and all these things. I'm like, fuck, this is amazing. And I'm like, really, I like this guy. You know, he's got a lot of fucking game, and he's like, I can see. I'm looking at him, and like, this guy's got the thing. Like, because I've always been good at spotting like people that have potential.
Yeah.
Like star power, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's got it. You know, he's got that thing. And he's talking to me, and he's like, I go, listen. He's like, I want you to help me with this thing. I'm like, I don't want to get involved in this business. I'm out of the fucking schmata biz, right? I'm not doing it. But I want to make a film for you. And he looks at me, he's like, what? I'm like, let's make a film. Let's make a little commercial. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, listen, I feel like this is like Instagram didn't have video yet.
Yeah.
And clothing companies weren't making films yet. Maybe this is 2012.
Okay.
So maybe one or two, but it wasn't the norm. And content is a monster now, right? You have to constantly churn out content all the time,
yes,
as we're doing at this moment.
Yes.
So I say to him, let's make a fucking film. And he's like, okay. And I talk him into it. And he's like, well, okay, what is it going to cost me? I go, I don't know, man, $3,000. He goes, $3,000.
Now you're charging people
$3,000. I'm just got to pay the DP and the editor. Like, that's it. Everything else is free.
Yeah.
We'll get a free camera. And he's like, fuck. He's pissed, you know. I finally convinced him to kick in the bread. We make this film for Born and Raised. And it's like, again, just like my first music video, one of those moments where I was like, it was magic. Like, we're on set. His dad comes in from Memphis. Butch, rest in peace. Butch just died last year or this year. Yeah, and his dad comes in from Memphis. His dad and his mom have been estranged. Him and his dad had a tough relationship. His dad's a blues musician, native blues musician. You know, we're in this room. It's fucking raining outside. Damn. We're shooting all these people in Venice. Like, we're shooting these Venice locals. We shoot some people getting jumped into a gang. Like, we shoot all in black and white. We shoot all. It was dark, and his dad's in the room, and like. It was just, and like his dad hadn't prepared a song, and like I'm looking at his dad, and it's a blues song. So I'm like, you know, because I also had a weird background in music. I was like, give me a minute, and I go in the other room, and I grab a piece of paper, and I just write a song, right there on the spot. 10 minutes. I write this like, you know, really simple blues, slow, you know. It's like, and I write this song.
Damn.
And he pulls out the piece of paper, and he just sings the song right then. We record it live. Wow. And I got to tell you, it was one of those moments. Like I'm feeling it again now. Like the hair on my arms was standing up. Spanto's probably never seen anything. He's like, what the fuck is, you know, like I'm deep diving into his life with cameras.
Yeah.
You know, his mom's making fry bread. He's in the house he grew up in. I mean, it was fucking heavy.
Dang.
Heavy. Like, it was just like, and dark and real. And like, he has, and you know, the reason why I wanted to make a film was like, bro, you have an all access pass to Venice that people don't have. He can go anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
I can't open all those doors. He can open all the doors.
Yeah.
Everyone knows him. Everyone respects him.
Yeah.
And we went everywhere, and we showed all of it. And we made this film. And after I made the film, I was fucked because I couldn't. I was like, I was cooked because I didn't want to get back in this business. I did not. I was like, I don't want to be in the business of making goods that are warehoused. I don't want to make anything. I don't want to be in this fucking. I just didn't want. I was so burnt on it. I've been in the clothing business for so long. So
this
you
guy,
know,
man. Damn.
Yeah. So we make the film.
This is called Born and Raised. Kind of, it's about his life.
Yeah, it's Born and Raised.
Wow.
You know? And you make the film, and you know, and then I'm like, hey, listen, I got an idea for you. Because now my wheels are turning. I'm not even a part of the process.
Yeah.
I got an idea for a shirt. Let's try this. And he's like, okay. And I go, you should have someone design this. I go, no, I'll do it. So I'm fucking designing him shirts and being like, just because like it's an idea, let's get it out. Yeah. That's how I am. And I'm sending him shit. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, and a few months go by, I'm like, I guess I'm doing this. I guess I'm doing it, right? So I go, okay, fuck it, let's go. So I make an LLC. I build a marketing strategy. I go, here's what we're going to do. We're going to partner with this company to make a shoe. Well, he connected us with the company to make a shoe. I was like, we're going to make these beautiful wooden shoe boxes. I got a guy that works with wood. We're going to make shoe boxes with Born and Raised burned into them. We're going to make 20 of these boxes. Inside the box will be a pair of shoes, some rolled up T-shirts, a handball. Spanto's helping me build this.
Sick.
Tobacco, which is a native thing. Some weed. If you're a pill guy, there's some pills, stickers, like this care package. And we take these boxes and we give them out to everyone in the industry. And we're saying like, hey, we're coming in. Yeah. Politely, but we're coming in. And that's what we did. And we give these boxes away. These shoe boxes away. And then we give the shoe boxes away. And then,
what kind of shoes are in there?
They were gourmet. Okay. They were gourmet duck boots. They're Born and Raised gourmet duck boots. Wow. At the time, gourmet was like fucking hot shit. And, you know, shout out to Greg and John.
Damn.
Yeah, and they, and Greg Lucci was just like, Greg Lucci he's just a loke. He had a store in Santa Monica, and he knew our business partner Murph, who died, rest in peace. And
is that Murph from Brooklyn Projects too?
Yeah, Murph.
Wow, Murph dog. Yeah.
Listen, you know how
I knew him too. Hairdresser too.
You know how Born and Raised started?
Okay.
Me, Spanto, and Murph.
Wow.
Me, Spanto, and Murph start the company. Murph hands me a shoebox full of cash. That's how the company started. I had a little shoebox in my apartment in Los Feliz. Whatever that was, 30, 40 grand. Here you go. Okay. There it is. A shoebox full of cash. Murph, me and Spanto run around, and here we go. We start making T-shirts. We start fucking doing, we hook up with our homeboy Elliot, who connects us to.
Is Elliot used to work for Not Guilty?
Elliot Graber?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. We hook up with Elliot.
Him and Lucky, they used to have Not Guilty. Yo, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Hook up with Elliot. Elliot, like, shout out to Elliot's, was just like super on it. Yeah, bro. What do you want to do? Let's go. He hooks us up with Chris from Union.
Yeah.
Chris right out the gate is just like, he sees it. He's like, oh. He instantly sees it as like, it's on. Chris then drops us in like, I don't know, 10, 15 doors worldwide, Colette, all these different stores. So season 1, we're out, we're on the fucking scene. Like we're dropped in our first season in 2013 in Union. We do a party at Union. I'm making these gigantic fold out zines out of they're like giant posters that fold into, I'm making zines. The girl I was dating at the time, I'm shooting her for like posters that I'm putting on the street. I mean, I'm just like, everything
DIY though, man.
DIY, the zines are consistent of like shoe boxes full of photos from him and my childhood collaged together. Like, I'll find one and bring it to you. They're pretty
cool,
sick,
man.
And I make another film called The Town I Live In, and we premiere it at Union, and we have a party, and then we premiere the film, and like I look over and this girl's crying.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit. Like, it's intense, I'm like, what the fuck, and like, and honestly, you're talking to a kid who, to be honest, like I've had a hard time even believing that I exist at times in my life. Like, I don't even know if I'm real, like, and I mean that in a way where like, I don't think I'm some ethereal fucking ghost. Like I was never given any sense of myself in any way. So the only way I've been able to define myself as an actual person that exists is by doing things creatively that make me stand out in some way. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm here. That's why I did graffiti, because I had such a terrible sense of myself. So I was like, I have to let people know I'm here.
It was an accomplishment too, doing that for you. Like, you did this. You did
that. You go out the next day and you see your tag and like, I fucking did that.
Yeah.
Like it's a great feeling. It's addictive. And
I'm sure.
And so like, I'm
putting your mark on the world like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we launch in these stores, we drop the thing in Union, and then Spanto goes to Palm Springs, and he's like, I don't feel good. I'm not feeling well. I'm like, all right,
Oh yeah, I deep dive this one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, he calls me. He's like, I got cancer. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, no, you don't. He's like, yeah, I do. And he said that, like, he went to the hospital. He wasn't feeling good, and they just threw a pamphlet on his lap that said, now you have cancer. It's like, here's how cancer works.
Dude.
So he gets cancer.
What kind of cancer? You remember?
Lymphoma. He gets lymphoma, and he's got a very serious, like, the doctors are like,
stage 4 kind of vibes.
Bad. He's like, it's not so good for you.
Yeah.
And he's got lymphoma. He's in the hospital, and I'm like, and we just started. Yeah. And I remember like having this, conversation with him and myself, and I was like, I don't know what to do here. I've never been around someone that had cancer. I'm friends with this person. I started a company with him, and I just made the decision. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna hold it down for you. Mm-hmm. I make that decision. I'm gonna hold this down. And the thing about me too is like, when I commit to things, I will until the wheels come off and you're on the I will do it. Yeah. Not always a good thing. I've learned that, like, not in this case, but in other cases, sometimes I'll hold on too long, and sometimes you gotta let go. And I'm learning how to do that. But I said I'll do it. And what happened was this started a period of this company going through like, 4 years of him in deep chemo. Terrible. Like he because the chemo has to kill you to save you, right?
It's not.
And he's going through just, he's bloating out, he's shrinking, his hair's falling out, he's limping. It's just like, and he's always, through all of it, he's not feeling sorry for himself. He's just fighting to do Born and Raised, stay alive. through all of it. You know, we're doing
Weren't you visiting him? You guys looking at designs while he was in the hospital?
Yeah, I'm in the hospital. Like, you know, here, what do you think? I'm bringing my computer. I'm sticking my dog in. That's what the dog's in the hospital. I'm bringing the dog. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. He's doing photo shoots in the hospital in a gown. Like, you know, we're just doing it.
Wow.
Because we made a decision. I remember talking to him. I go, listen, we can come out front with this and tell people. Because this is also, I think, before everyone was so performative about all their shit.
Yeah.
I was like, we can either keep this a secret or we can just fucking tell everyone what's going on as we do it. And he's like, fuck it. Let them know. So we said, fuck it. Here's what's happening. He's got cancer. And it was a very tumultuous period because I didn't know how to deal with it. I was in AA. I wasn't doing the work I need to do in the program. You know, AA is a whole other story, but like, I was sober, but I was dry. You know, I wasn't taking care of myself, and I relapsed. So Spantos got cancer. I fucking relapsed. We have one employee, and I'm on a sick one for like a year. It's bad. You know, I'm just like, I'm hanging on by a thread. I mean, I remember, you know, I was high so much, and I remember I started listening to Steely Dan for some reason.
Yeah.
And I'm just high on coke listening to Steely Dan.
Damn coke. Okay, yeah.
And I remember like I just made a shirt, and the whole back of the shirt said, "Any major dude will tell you." You know, it's a Steely Dan song.
Wow.
Like I'm out of my fucking. I see that, and I'm like, dude.
And he's fighting for his life.
He's fighting for his life. I'm fucking getting high in the office.
He's supposed to be running the business, yeah.
Yeah, he's.
You're supposed to be running the business, yeah.
And
are you?
I am.
Yeah.
But I'm high.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm hanging on by a thread.
Fuck.
And
you're just starting too. It's crazy.
we just started.
Fuck.
And so for that 4 years, we're hanging on. And you know, and the hype and the activity, and you know, we hung in there. We somehow hung in there through all this shit, you know.
Yeah, so he beat it, obviously. And how long did that take?
I mean, to fully beat it, it's I think he's only just fully recovered recently.
Wow.
Because for the longest time, he would just get these mysterious ailments. He'd be like, he'd be down for a week.
Damn.
But then when he's not down, he's up.
Yeah.
And he's irrepressible, right? He's I've never known anyone that kind of energy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know guys like that. They're wired that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like me, I got to take naps. I'm not like that. I have to stop. I have to think. I have to relax. I got
Shut
to
down.
ponder. I'm neurotic. I don't work that way. I don't just go. I can't.
Yeah.
So
does the brain start doing really well right then in the beginning, or?
It's doing well, but it's not like it's doing well as far as like an underground brand that everyone loves.
Yeah.
And we're making progress, but we're not fucking making money. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're half one of us is high, the other one's fucking in the hospital. So basically, after, you know, all that stuff happens, we lose, like, we had one employee, someone else hired him away, which was like, we were so pissed about that. Like, especially our friends, they hired our employee. It's like, now we have no employee. You know, we bring in another guy. We're getting by. You know, like we always joke about this one guy we brought in. We brought the guy who left. He said, "Hey, hire this guy to take my place because he's doing production and stuff."
Yeah.
And that guy, we were doing a project with like YG at the time, and we were doing socks. We were doing like knee-high socks with YG.
Hard.
And this guy took it upon himself. He goes, his theory was if he added a couple extra zeros to the production order, that we would make that much money because it would just sell. He ordered so many socks that the company almost died. Like,
really?
Yes. And we were like, what the fuck happened? Because, you know, we were checked out. And this dude just like, we just sell the socks. I'm like, that's not how, you know. And so I think to this day, those socks still exist in a
No
warehouse.
way.
Like it almost destroyed the company.
So you mean thousands of them?
Thousands of so many fucking socks. Pallets and pallets and pallets of these fucking socks. Like, it almost
Holy
destroyed us.
shit.
So, like, you know, it's funny in hindsight. It's funny. But, you know, we went through a lot of things. And, you know, I got sober.
You were on a bend. Is like on a bender for like a year.
Yeah, I was really.
That's probably you didn't know how to deal with your emotions or what was happening
No.
with the company, and your friend was dying, and you fucked just everything.
I didn't know how to do it,
Yeah.
and I wasn't taking care of myself. And I wasn't going to the program, and I wasn't doing the things. The real thing I wasn't doing is I wasn't taking counsel with people. You know, like the thing about you're supposed to run things by people. Hey man, what do you think of this? You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that for the longest time in my life. I never ran anything by anybody. I'll figure it out. You know, or if I got a problem, I'll just hide out and figure it out. I'm not going to bring it to anybody else. Now it's
Yeah.
different. I talk to people about everything. I have to.
Have to,
But
yeah.
you know, it takes a village to raise an asshole, right? So like, so you know, you know, so I get sober, you know, because I had this moment of clarity. You know, I'm like, you know, I talk about this in the rooms a lot, you know, and I share, and I'm like, you know, I had a moment of clarity. I'm in the mirror. I'm looking at the mirror at 7 a.m. I've been up all night. I'm looking at myself. You know, I feel like fucking Harvey Keitel in The Bad Lieutenant, just like swaying in the mirror, crying almost, you know, just looking and going, oh shit. you're going to flush it right now. Like because I'm the only thing standing between the company dying or not at this point. And also, like, I had crashed my car and I'm squatting in my own apartment. I had no money and I was broke and I hadn't paid taxes in fucking 5 years. Like, it was drastic. It was a mess.
Rock bottom shit, yeah.
Rock bottom. The wheels were off. And I remember looking in the mirror and being like, you're going to be that dude that they see on the street and go, that was him. That guy, that was Two-Tone. Look at him. He's under a bridge yelling at the wall, And,
scary, yeah.
And I felt it. I was like, this could happen. Like, you never think it could happen, but I was like, oh, this can happen to me. And shortly after, I had a friend in the program call me, my buddy Alexis, and he's calling me, just giving me shit and be like, what are you doing? You fucking, making fun of me, but in the way that, because he loved me.
Yeah.
And he got me to go to a meeting, and then I got my shit together. And I had a new experience, and, it changed my life.
Yeah.
And that was 7 years and some change ago. And
awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a new experience, and it changed my life, and I have a new perspective. And, and like, look, I've been around a long time, and I'm still figuring out.
Of course.
And when I was a kid, I thought you figure things out. I thought you hit at this age and you get this, and you buy this house and you do this thing and you get this girl. Things get figured out. It never gets figured out, and nothing ever. You're never done, and the process is forever. And I'm still constantly trying to figure out how to negotiate and manage who the fuck I am in relation to the rest of the world and what that really means. Because I didn't even know who I was for a long time. And the reality is, like, I'm not what people may think I am, or where I come from, or what I've done. I'm something else. Yeah. And that's not that. I'm at the end of the day, like, I'm a pretty, like, tenderhearted, normal person if you do get to know me, if I let you get to know me. Yeah. And that's, I don't know, that's kind of like and then now, Born and Raised is what it is, right? Yeah. We got over the hump, and now it's like, it's on, right?
Crushing.
Born and Raised crushing.
How many people work there now?
We got like 12, but there's like 4 or 5 out floating, to do other things. But I think 12 day to day. Was there a certain, like, collab or something that kind of took off? Where you're like, oh shit, this is really happening, or this is going to be. You'd like to think. Yeah. Our trajectory hasn't been meteoric. Some companies flip in a year and go from, like, 1.5 to 10 million in a year. They have that crazy blow up. Our shit's just been chugging uphill. That's nice though, man. Up, and we double every year. Yeah. Which is crazy growth. Yeah. You're supposed to grow by, like, 8 to 20% or something. We typically will double every year. Sometimes it slows down a bit, which is huge, but it's still very slow progressing. We're chugging, going up that thing. And we had early, like, you think that you do something, you're going to blow up. We did something with Reebok early. Yeah. I made a film for that. One of my favorite films I've done from Born and Raised. It was Reebok, yeah. Yeah, Reebok. The Reebok film was great. But did that blow us up? No, it just made us more relevant. We did something with Converse. Yep. Did that blow us up? No, we made great content. We sold some stuff. It made us more relevant. And nothing we've done has made us explode. You're not talking about, like, Antisocial Club, right? Like, that's a company that exploded and is monstrous because it got a hold of something. It got a hold of some zeitgeist, right? Like, that's not who we are, because this is a brand based on culture and personality. And it's not like it's not a hype brand, Yeah, he did SB Dunk and Carhartt Whip too, right? Now we have the SB coming out in like a month. Sick. Carhartt Whip this year. Levi's coming out in a few weeks. So we've got to hit these monster kind of like heritage tentpole companies. Yeah. And we're finally collabing with them, and, like, we've been working up to that the whole time. And this is all you've been doing for the past 7 years? Yeah, 10 years. 10 years, 10 years I've been doing this, yeah. Fuck. And then also there's, like, I think that there's another chapter for me too. That's going to go beyond Born and Raised. Of course. You could do, like, a movie or a documentary. I'm going to make a movie. Yeah, that's like a dream of yours. Yeah. I have to do it. How about like a doc about your life? I mean, I don't think I'm that interesting. Okay. I don't think I have enough notoriety for there to be a doc about my life. But I think stories that I can tell that are peripheral to my life, and stories I can tell about things that I've been privy to that I can tell in a way that's authentic, I think could be good. Yeah. And the next thing I need to figure out is, like, I got to figure out how to make a movie, because I can't die. I have to try. Yeah. And I think that's the next phase of my life, is, like, figuring out how to. I want to make films. I want to, like, I have this trajectory. I have this dream trajectory planned out in my head. And I want to make films and television, right? I want to do that, and then eventually I just want to, like, end up in a barn somewhere on a property somewhere. Okay. Maybe in LA, maybe not. And I just want to paint and draw And
that's retirement kind of chill vibes.
Yeah, or not. Maybe it's sooner than retirement. But I know at the end of the day, I would like to slow down and chill out. And I would like to just kind of be in a place where it's quiet and draw and just listen to music and like let it, because it's hectic, right? This shit's hectic. I'm rushing around all the time doing all these things, and it's like, you know, you're fighting, going, and like I have friends who are fine artists, and I look at their lives and like, you know, they're bummed because they're fucking neurotic psychos, but like but I look at them like, bro, you get up in the morning, you go to the gym, you drink coffee, and then you paint all day. That's your job? Are you kidding me? Like, to me, that's one of like, you know, pro surfer, director, painter, and maybe like musician are like the 4 kind of grail jobs to me, I think.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the best one, probably, if you're going to be honest, is pro surfer.
It's a crazy. Man.
All you need is a pair of shorts and a board, and you're in fucking Bali, and you're fucking surfing, and you're getting paid by sponsors, and you're just eating whatever the fuck, and you just tan, jacked all the time.
You're just chilling. Dude, so is it still a very crazy hustle for you right now, even with Born and Raised? Like your daily life is just nonstop?
Yeah, I mean, it's slowed down some in that I'm shifting right now. I'm shifting down. I'm transitioning. And, you know, Spantos life is crazy. Because Spantos kind of like, there was a lot of time when he couldn't work. Yeah. And now,
make up for it, catch up.
Now he's on fire. He's obsessed. He's working nonstop. And like, for me, it's like my priorities have shifted. Like I have to take care of myself. I can't grind myself to a pulp anymore. I can't destroy my health. I'm very concerned, not concerned, but like seeing him go through this thing with cancer. I'm very vigilant about taking care of myself, because
so important, man.
Health is wealth, right?
And stress is a number one killer.
Stress is a motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
I used to, you know, when I get really stressed, I lose a quarter-sized patch of hair in my mustache or face. It just falls out when I'm very stressed, you know? Holy shit. Like, it's real. You know, like they tell you stress is real. Like, it's real. And I work hard to take care of myself, because if you're sick, everything's out the window.
How old are you now?
I'm 48.
I'm 48.
I'm 48 years old. Yeah. So I'm very aware of that stuff.
Yeah. So you like work out a lot and all that stuff?
I work out nonstop. Yeah. I'm obsessed. I do jiu-jitsu, you know, nonstop.
Let me get my dog. Every day?
No, not every day, but you know, when I'm in the flow, it's like 5 times a week, you know. But I'll do like an hour of weights, an hour of jiu-jitsu, or I'll do hot yoga and do a walk for an hour. Like
hot yoga too. Damn.
Yeah, I do hot yoga. I hike. Dude. I do all that shit.
And then what about your diet? Eat pretty good?
I eat very clean. It's
nice.
Well, also this year, again, things flipped. Like I went through a move, a death of a friend, a breakup with a significant partner, and also my dog is like, you know, on the way out. So like everything is flipped again, and I haven't been able to eat so much. So I'm just like, and which is great, because I'm like, fuck it, I'll lose a few pounds. So I've rapidly lost all this weight, not on my own accord, just because like I'm not eating, not sleeping, and going to the gym every day. But the gym is what keeps me sane.
Yeah.
But I also listen, I dedicate so much of my time to take care of myself, as much as I'm allowed to with work. And, you know, and I know that I'm not always going to be able to. Like when I shoot a film, that's going to go out the window, because you're strapped in for, you know, whatever that is, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever that shooting schedule is. That's it. That's all you're doing. But right now I'm just like, listen, if I can get up, like if I can take the meeting at noon and go to the gym in the morning, I will.
It's nice.
I do, you know, I'm trying, but you know, and sometimes I feel like it's self-indulgent, and sometimes I'm just like, well, I want to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Know? I mean, I talked to...
Super important.
Yeah, I talked to a friend. I talked to, you know, Uncle Paulie. I talked to him, had him on the pod, and he's like, I'm in better shape than I was now than I was in my 20s. I'm like, yeah, me too.
Me too.
Because I'm taking care of myself, right?
Man, I love it.
I'm probably in the best shape of my life.
Same.
Because I'm paying attention. Because in my 20s, I was a fucking wreck, and I was eating trash, and I was living terribly, and I wasn't exercising. And now I'm like, I just love to feel good. And I love to do things that make me feel good. And like, I haven't had sugar since February. Not on purpose. I know, not on purpose.
It's hard, dude.
Well, the crazy thing is, like, my production company sent me a cake, right? They sent this cake, and they're not going to listen to this, so they don't know. They sent me a cake. It was like fucking 20-pound cake, chocolate cake. Damn. Beautiful, beautiful cake. I had my name on it, the whole fucking 9. For my birthday. My birthday was yesterday.
It was?
It was, yeah.
Fuck, happy belated, man.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Holy shit.
So actually, I guess I'm 49, so I'm almost 50. Shh. But
you look good, though,
I skew young.
You look healthy, though.
I work young. But they sent me a cake. And I opened the cake up, and I haven't had sugar since February because I couldn't eat, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not going to eat the sugar," because I don't want to feel sorry for myself in that way. And I looked at the cake and I didn't even want it. It was, and I'm a fat fucking fuck. Like I am a fat boy. Like I can gain 80 pounds without even thinking about it. Like nothing. Like it's nothing to me. I've done it. I'll fucking put on 80 pounds and be like, holy shit, I'm fat. I'm fucking morbidly obese. Like I'm a huge fat fuck. Like, people are like, don't say that about yourself. No, it's a reminder that can happen. And for the first time I looked at this cake and I didn't even, no part of me wanted it because I'm looking at it, I'm like, if I eat this sugar, I'm going to feel guilty and I'm going to feel like shit.
Totally.
So I'm on this streak where I'm like trying to see how far I can go without having sugar. I've had honey and I've had sugar-free chocolate, had some Lily's
It's
chocolate.
hard, man.
Yeah.
You're not perfect though either,
Not perfect, but I'm going to see how far I can go. Fuck it. I'm playing these games with myself all the time.
What about fruits and shit? Natural?
Yeah, I eat fruit. Yeah, blueberries. Listen, I eat very fucking clean. I have a very specific smoothie I have that's fully disgusting. And then I eat that.
Like greens in it and stuff, everything?
Dude, there's frozen cherries, and I put raw eggs and protein powder and ginger and cocoa and fucking zucchini. A dietitian gave me this thing based on the tests I took.
That's your daily?
Allergies. That's what I have for breakfast.
Wow.
And then I don't want to eat until dinner, and then dinner I have something very sensible. It's like meat, meat and yams, or steak and salad, just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just not hungry.
Yeah.
I force myself to eat, but I'm just not hungry.
Intermediate fasting kind of vibes?
I try to keep windows sometimes.
Yeah, that's hard. I like that too. It's good for you though.
I met a guy, this dude at the gym. I saw him. I was like, God damn, you lost a lot of weight. He goes, intermittent fasting. I'm like, what's your window? He goes, 4 hours. I go, what? He goes, I eat in a 4-hour window. I eat whatever I want. And I was like,
it's supposed to be 8, but yeah.
He says 4. And
that's crazy.
And I started trying to do it, but I can't. He's like, I eat pizza, I eat burgers. Like, I can't do that. And I started trying to do it, and I can't do it. I can't do 4-hour window.
It's supposed to be 8 hours, by the way. It's supposed to be 8. 12 to 8, 11 to 7. Yeah, I've done it.
You do that.
I've done it for a while. A lot of my friends do it too. A lot of people on it for years, and they're like, they lost crazy weight and they eat what they want.
Yeah, they eat what they want.
I wouldn't go crazy and eat pizza and shit like that, but I would still eat clean as fuck. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Like I'm not psychotic, right? Like I'm gonna go out to dinner tonight. I'm gonna have some pasta.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm not gonna fucking
be crazy.
You
don't beat yourself about.
No,
it.
I had some bread last night. But I'm not gonna have any sugar. I'm not gonna have any dessert.
There's sugar in bread though now. Probably who fucking knows?
Sure.
You're not that anal about it, right? Are you? Checking ingredients and shit.
No. I can't. I've done.
You're
that.
not eating sweets. You're not eating soda. You're not fucking doing all this other shit. Yeah.
I drink water. I drink water obsessively. I've been drinking water for 20 years. That's probably why I look so young.
Good for your skin too.
Good for my skin. Yeah, I've been drinking so much. I'm drinking buckets of water forever.
What about coffee?
Yeah, I have 1 coffee a day.
I'm back on it today. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sometimes I do a matcha with a shot. That's nice.
That's good too.
Yeah, almond matcha with a shot is nice. That gets me going. I have 1 coffee a day. Once or twice a week, I do some pre-workout and feel insane. And I go in there and just go fucking ham,
What about yerba mate? That's good too.
I never really fuck with yerba mate.
It's really
but
good fucking caffeine, dude. It's natural. Really? So you're working out. Do you sleep good at night? You're like a good sleeper?
No, listen.
Honestly, I can see your brain shutting off.
Bro, no. Something happened. Once I broke up with my ex, I've only had 2 weeks of actual real sleep. I wake up for months. I couldn't sleep, just couldn't fucking sleep. Right. Then now what's happened is I wake up every morning at 4:00. Okay.
A.M.
4:00 in the morning. My alarm is at 6. I wake up at 4. I go to bed at 10. I'm getting 6 hours sleep instead of 8. Or I'm really in bed.
That's
by
pretty
11.
bad. That's probably worse than everything else. Sleep's so important.
That's terrible.
It's terrible.
And now. Last night I went to bed. I have a fucking sleep mask on my face. I have a mouth guard on my mouth. I have this magnet thing that pops open my nose. And now I have earplugs in. And I still woke up at 5. And I think I figured it out. For a while, I've never had problems sleeping in my entire life. I sleep like a fucking rock. I'll nap anywhere. I'll fall asleep in a car. I'll fall asleep driving. I'll sleep anywhere. But something's happened where my brain is like, as much as I've moved through this thing and like all the things that I'm processing in my mind, like I feel good. Subconsciously, my fucking wheels are spinning, and I think my brain wakes me up at 4, and it's like fuck, and like I don't have access to it.
Yeah.
My last ditch thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to reset the timer on the sprinklers, because I have noticed that at 5 in the morning, I can hear the water rushing through the pipes by my bed. That, and
that's smart actually.
I'm just trying to block all, the sleep. I never thought I'd be a guy that wore, you see people on TV wearing a sleep mask. Who the fuck, the Golden Girls? Who wears a sleep mask? Are you kidding me?
I do it in airplanes. Yeah.
I've never done it in my life. I get a sleep mask that's got fucking fennel and rosemary in it. I don't know.
Earplugs, all that. Yeah.
I'm like, someone comes in my house and breaks in. They just see a guy just covered in shit. They're like, fuck him.
How about the melatonin?
Oh, I take that. I take the melatonin and the magnesium. That shit doesn't work. I still wake up at 4.
Fuck. You're just set like that. What about going to bed earlier? What time do you go to bed?
I gotta go to bed at 8.
Nah.
I try to. Ideally, I'm in bed at 10:30, but usually 11. But sometimes 12. If I'm going out, if I have a date or something, I'm up late. So.
But you're not watching TV in bed. You're not on your computer. You're not on your phone.
I'm trying to.
Because that's so bad, like that brightness.
I'm trying to stop being on the phone before bed, and I'm trying to read. Right.
Reading's so good to fall asleep with.
Yeah.
Because the phone is gnarly, like the lights in your face.
Terrible. I hate. That's the other thing. That's one thing. Right now is my phone. My relationship with my phone has gotten toxic and terrible. It is fucked up. Like I need help.
What's going off right now?
I need help. It's not even like there's the interactions with people, Instagram, fucking email. Like I am white. Like I think I'm.
It's so bad. We're all addicted to it though.
I'm more jacked into it than I was last year because of like, again, the house is empty. I'm alone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to escape.
Are you on the dating apps too and shit?
No, I'm not on the apps.
Okay.
No, but you don't.
But you're single.
Yeah, I'm single. I don't need. If you have Instagram, you don't need to be on the apps.
True. Well, I don't know because I'm fucking married.
You're married. Yeah. You don't want to be out there. It's terrible.
No, hell no.
I signed up for one for a minute. I opened it and I looked and I'm like, this is not my dating pool. And I just shut it off. I was like, I can't do this because like I saw all the people that I was matching with. And I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
These people I don't come from the same planet as those people.
Yeah.
Those aren't my people. My people are out there. I interact with them. I see them. I meet them through other people. Like.
You ever check your time you spend on your phone a day? Those hours? This shit's
like 8 hours a day. Easy.
Brutal.
It's terrible.
I'm like, I'm 53. Well, I do promote my shows, I promote the pod, whatever I'm on. But sometimes you get in those fucking downward spirals of just looking at shit, dude.
Terrible.
It sucks.
I'm gonna do this thing.
It's worse than sugar, probably. Our addictions to it.
Oh, it's way worse. I think so.
Yeah.
It's what it's doing to us. Like, also,
we're gonna find out like 20 years, hopefully, before that what it's done to us.
Oh, we're getting fucked. Also, because I'm a perfect lab rat for this thing because what they wanted was a captive audience to sell shit to, and they are selling shit to me. Because I the other day I was like lonely, right? I was in a group chat talking to my friends. And I just felt sad because I was lonely. I was home alone. I didn't have anyone around.
Damn.
The house is empty. I'm still adjusting, and I'm looking at my phone, and I bought this lamp. I bought a lamp that looks like a mushroom. And I bought it because I just felt
they got you.
They got me, and I texted my chat. I'm like, guys, I just bought a lamp because I'm lonely. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, and I bought this dumbass lamp that is when it gets to my house, it's gonna live there for a minute.
You're probably gonna return it.
No, I can't.
It's like those late night commercials we used to watch growing up,
yes.
like across the screen. Now it's just on your phone all day long.
All day long in your face.
You checking DMs and all that shit.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Fuck.
And what do people ever talk shit to you? Any negative comments?
No.
Yeah,
I don't get that. I don't. People don't talk.
You're not on the brand page. You're on your own personal page.
No, Spanto negotiates that with Born and Raised. I don't get a lot of negative comments.
Yeah.
I mean, I do my podcast. People love it.
Yeah, podcast is great too. Maddie Matheson's awesome, man.
Yeah, Maddie's gone. He doesn't do it anymore. He'll do it when he comes in town. But
You remind me now that I've gotten to know you, just hanging out now, because now you guys have a lot of similarities. Some of your energy too, I think.
Me and Maddie?
And you like workaholics too, though.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a fucking workaholic.
He is so inspired.
He
goes so hard, bro.
He's like
and just like flipping it from like things kind of like were down, and then during the pandemic, just doing a random barbecue, and then all of a sudden that spirals into TV shows and that all that shit, man. The Bear's incredible. Yeah. So he's way too busy for the pod.
Yeah, people are like, why isn't Matt doing the pod? I'm like, he has a show on FX in season 2.
That too, though.
What is he gonna do? Like,
so now it's just you.
Yeah, he doesn't. The reason why, one of the main reasons why he doesn't do the pod is he hates to zoom in. He only will do it in person.
I like that too, bro.
Yeah,
Zoom's fucking hard, man.
It's terrible.
And phone call ones. That's why I never did a Zoom ever on my podcast. I'll wait years to get somebody in my kitchen. Do you know what I mean? Like this face-to-face shit. Yeah. And phone calls are rough.
Yeah.
Who's like for growing up here? I mean, some of the collabs that I wrote down I thought were fucking awesome, and probably for you as a person growing up in California, just like almost every fucking team. Oh, obviously it was a Dogtown collab too, right?
Yep.
That's fucking.
That's
like some childhood shit for you.
That's childhood shit. Yeah. That's
that
like
happening?
Like when I was a kid, I would just like I would copy Dogtown graphics and like gang writing and just redraw it and be like, holy shit,
And even like the logo for Born and Raised is almost like the swap meet letters, right? Almost like the Old English shit.
It's like
later on Kanye took and act like it was his. That bothered me.
Well, that actually that
whole like Pablo font isn't like.
But that was
swap meet.
Yeah, it's the old iron-on letters for the Rest in Peace sweaters. But
yes.
Callie DeWitt did that for Kanye.
Okay.
Yeah, so like it really.
I thought it was a total swap meet bite. I don't know.
No, it is. It's from the swap meet. Like Cal.
But for the young kids, they don't know where that shit came from. They thought it was probably straight up his. far.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Do you know what I'm saying?
They're iron-on letters. Yeah, I mean Rocksteady used to have them.
Yeah,
Like every,
for us older guys, I knew where it came from. I was
Yeah,
damn, I see that. Now he's using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, let's see, Lakers, LA Rams, Dodgers, LAFC, Cypress Hill collab.
Yeah, that was great.
Like all that shit's awesome, especially being somebody from here.
Yeah.
To work with all those, Yeah,
it's cool.
And I go to LAFC games, and I actually got one of those hats. They gave it to me there, but that's the first kind of sports thing I've done now here is going to one of those games, which is amazing.
Right. I haven't been yet, but
it's incredible.
The whole company's gone. It's insane. Like,
and B-Real's in the one playing the drums and stuff. Like all that stuff. Are you a big sports guy?
No.
Neither am I, dude.
Funnily enough,
I'm just saying those collabs are sick because it's LA. It's fucking
I love
classic.
Listen, it means LA. Dodgers is ubiquitous with LA. Yes, I love it.
You never played sports or anything?
No. They wanted me to play
Me
football.
either.
They were like, but
that.
I was like, I was writing graffiti.
You'd wreck shop though in football.
They're like, come on. I was like, nah, man, I'm a writer, bro.
So no sports.
I didn't believe in organized sport. I thought that was
me
fucking
either.
lame.
I fucking hated jocks. Hated all that shit.
Yeah, I hated that shit.
I never liked sports. My wife's a hockey fan from Chicago, so we go to Blackhawks games. Those are cool.
Yeah.
But I think you need LA Kings one, I think, next.
Oh, we did that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was
damn, so you did every sports team for LA.
The King shit?
Fuck.
We did a King's Letterman jacket.
How about Raiders?
Nice. Yeah, we did Raiders. We did a bunch of Raiders.
So you did everything.
All the LA teams.
Is there like a dream collab you still would want to do?
I don't know anymore. I mean, I feel like
lot,
Nike
bro.
is kind of like for me.
Huge, bro.
Nike's kind of like the I don't know. Nike's kind of the biggest one for me. After that, you're maybe dealing with like fashion or couture shit, but like Nike and Levi's to me are like those heritage big. I mean Levi's too.
51XX was classic, heavy ass. That's another thing. We rocked those jeans because like the stiff creased.
Yeah, the
Levi's. We used to rock those. Try to find those in New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got Levi's, you have Nike, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did Converse.
Did Converse a ways back. Yeah.
How about like some like classic winos? That's some LA shit too.
That's been up in the air a couple times. We're trying to do it. We're doing another collab with Union and Gents of Desire, which is a crew that my friend Alexis Spanto and I are actually in the crew too, but
nice.
We're doing a collab through him via the Gents of Desire and Union.
How about some Vans?
I feel like Vans.
It's kind of hard, man. It seems, no?
I think it's there, but like we obviously aren't gonna like touch it at this point because we're dealing with Nike. But like I think that I'm sure that conversation has been had.
Is that a weird thing, Nike and Vans?
I don't think that's a weird thing. That's actually those two worlds aren't really combative.
Yeah.
But you're obviously if you're working with Nike, you're not gonna work with anyone else at that time.
Yeah.
The way I see it.
And some of your favorite graffiti people like Risky, Doom, Vex.
Yeah.
PC.
How did you know that? Doom and Vex.
Ash.
Doom is. I used to.
Saint Pat.
Yeah, St. Pat. Holy shit, that's a fucking.
I got my notes on me. WCA or BCA.
Oh my god, yeah. WCA, BC, Risky, Vision, Doom.
Risky's mad cool, man.
Yeah, Risky's.
My friend Izak got married at his house, and so I went to meet him that one time.
I haven't been to that compound of his yet, but
this is a while ago. I don't know if he has another one now, but
it's wild.
I see him around too.
Yeah.
How about like all these other ones like Future? And all, is it his name Future? Future, yeah. Like all these dudes who are from that world, like they're doing crazy Nike collabs and all this stuff and getting like really wonderful props and praise. I think that's amazing, man.
Yeah, some of those guys have become super established, legit artists. It's great to see. I mean, guys in my crew too are like, they live in the fine art world, and that's an amazing progression. And like, that's kind of like, there's a couple ways out. And it's like you become an artist, you become a tattoo artist, or you get a job.
Yeah.
Or you become a lifer and you're a criminal.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it,
So it's Born and Raised, it's beyond a LA brand, obviously, because people, you can rock it. Like, I'm born and raised in Massachusetts. I'm born and raised in New York. Like,
that's the plan.
Yeah.
We're spreading out into like, we're doing some deals that are going to put us in different cities.
It's sick.
And, because everyone needs to embody the idea of being born. Everyone's born and raised, Pittsburgh, Philly, like, everyone loves to talk about where they're from.
Totally.
And they, whether you leave or go back, you go home, you're like, I'm born and raised here. I grew up in this block. I know that store. Like,
yeah.
Everyone wants to have that neighborhood feeling and most people do anyways. Maybe not everybody.
So like maybe like a New York collab with somebody from out there, do the Born and Raised or something.
Yeah. And we've done stuff with the Wake, that's the New York plug. And like, we've done it, but
many New York brands if you think about it.
New York brands
that I know of. It's especially just from New York.
You're right. There's not too many now. Everyone moved to LA.
Fresh Jive from New York?
No,
or something?
That's LA.
Okay, 555 Soul, Fat Farm Classics, whatever.
That's all New York.
But since then, I'm wondering if like there's ones that are really from there. I don't know. It's interesting.
There's a small company that just started up called Supreme from New York. I don't know if you're
That's right. So Supreme, jerk. So we used to go to that skate shop back in the day in the early 90s when it was just a skate shop. All those dudes, Harold Hunter, all the dudes were hanging, going to Sheets and Pillows, all these New York clubs we see him at. Harold Hunter would come to CB's once in a while to punk shows. But yeah, they're right. The Supreme is in New York, but it's fucking global, massive insanity, bro.
Well, no, New York had everything kind of wrapped up streetwear-wise for a minute, but what happened is all the merchandising moved to LA like 15 years ago. All the Momentos shut down in New York, and in LA you can get shit done, and all the merchandising. Not merchandising, production.
Okay.
All the production is here.
Yeah.
And everyone, there's just a mass exodus to LA to make shit. So a lot of shit from New York moved to LA. Like an art scene happened here, a culinary scene happened here.
Yeah.
And production. And LA was not known for those three things before.
Interesting. Oh, somebody's in the house right now. We're almost. Hi, Jess. Jessica's here too.
Hi, Jess. Oh, Jess is here. Hi, Jess.
You don't seem like somebody has like any regrets in his life, do you?
Regrets. I can't say I don't really do regret.
Yeah, I can tell.
Because I can't do it over.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't. So I don't regret things. And if I think about I don't regret anything that. No, I don't have any real regrets because I'm here and I'm good and I'm healthy.
Good place. Yeah.
And I've been through a lot of tumultuous shit.
Yeah.
But I've learned from all of it. So I don't do regrets. Like people talk to me and they go like, well, because I've often said like, if I could snap my finger and make all my tattoos disappear and redo it, I would.
Same. I'd do that too.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Ask anyone that's heavily tatted. You're like, if I could go like this and they're all gone, I'd probably get 5 tattoos and call it a day.
Yeah.
Just because that's a better look than just being fucking blasted.
True.
But I regret or hate it? No, I don't regret anything.
Same.
Like, even the dumb tattoos I did to myself, I don't regret. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's all ridiculous. This whole thing is stupid. Like, it's ridiculous. Like everything. Yeah. The fact that we're doing this right now and that, fucking Liquid Death is paying you to talk to people on the microphone. It's come on, give me a break. You know what I mean?
It is crazy.
You could be tarring a roof right now, and
it's
upstate
true.
New York. Who knows?
No, it's true.
What I mean? Like
I'm very lucky to be here doing this with you, though, for sure. What's like one of your last real jobs? Like you had to clock in, like a boss and shit.
Probably the job that was when I worked for the clothing company. I was the art director. That was the last time I had a job.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it. And I'm never getting. I will never have a job.
Same.
I'm not getting a fucking job. I'll have people that have power over me temporarily if I'm doing something for them, but I can't handle it. Come here at 7 and do no, I'm not doing it.
Nah, man.
Fuck that.
I work so hard not to have that ever happen to my life.
No, fuck that. I'd rather live in a van. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And also I'm terrified of making resumes. That's the other reason.
You never really had to, have you?
I've started my own company, so I haven't to make a resume. So I never made a resume.
That is your resume, though.
I didn't want to make a resume, so I was like, I'll just make a company instead.
What kind of movie would you make if you could make one? What's your dream movie you want to make?
Well, I wrote it. It exists.
Okay, it's already.
I'm drafting it. I'm redrafting it. It's a
So
day.
it's a movie. It's not a doc. Okay.
No. It's a narrative. It's a day.
Okay.
It's a day in the life. It's an LA story. Day in the life of some kids.
Nice.
That's all I want to say.
Okay. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
But it's very.
I think it's gonna happen.
I hate to talk about things before they happen.
I know. Don't
but
jinx anything. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I don't. Fuck a jinx. It's just like I don't want to I don't know. It's. I'm figuring it out, but I have a very pragmatic approach to how I want to do things, and it's like I want to make things. I'm not here to be a genius.
Yeah,
I'm here to get shit done.
Yeah,
in the best way that I can.
Yeah.
I let other people be brilliant. I'm okay. I just want to figure out how to do shit.
Yeah. Are you an optimist or pessimist?
Pessimistic optimist for sure. For sure.
That's a good one.
I think that ultimately I must be an optimist because I've never quit. So I do believe that I'll get it.
Yeah, you've always
ultimately, but it's
you've always believed in yourself.
I mean,
when nobody else did, you feel like nobody really saw you until doing the test.
I don't think that. I don't know, man. I've suffered from not believing in myself, but somehow I've always pushed myself to do things.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't believe in myself. I'm trying to prove to myself. I don't fucking know. Like I just wasn't
trying to prove prove in general. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wasn't given a sense of like. I wasn't one of those kids who was like, you're fucking beautiful and you can do whatever you want. You're gonna be the president of the world.
Yeah, you could be. Yeah.
Which is sick because if you arm your kid with that idea, they walk through the world thinking the world owes them something, and then the world gives them what they want.
True.
As opposed to me, where I've had to fight everything. It's always been a slog. I'm like, I have to fight. I got to do this fight. I got to do that fight. And like, it doesn't have to be that way. That's how I've done things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have. I'm trying to find an easier, gentler way. As I get older.
You have a top 5 MCs?
Oh my God, that's
Are
the.
you a big hip hop head or no?
Yeah, of course. Like I listen to all kinds of music, but like rap is.
That's what you grew up on.
Yeah, I grew up on rap.
West
music.
Coast only or East Coast too?
Everything. I ate everything. I mean, Pusha T is top. Jay-Z is top.
Pusha T, nobody even mentioned. That's great.
What are you kidding me? Pusha T is one of the best.
Insane.
There's too many.
That last record was all the last couple records you put out incredible.
Pusha T is amazing, clean. I mean,
does it get no top 5 or 10s? I've never heard that name in there. It's interesting.
Really? That's
like
crazy.
Jay-Z, Big, Nas, KRS-One, Rakim.
Those are like sure. Oh, Jay Electronica.
Fuck.
Jay Electronica.
Nobody says him either.
Pusha T, Jay-Z because
you got some all East Coast.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Fuck.
I better back it up a little bit.
Jay Electronica had the record that almost never came out. He had all these singles for so many years. Great songs on, man.
The record that he made with Jay-Z in the pandemic.
He was on Jay-Z's on 3 tracks.
It's it is so listen.
You're right.
I burn those records. I listen to records sometimes so much that I can't believe I'm still listening to it. I don't know there's something wrong with me. Like I will listen to things for 10 years all the time. Like it's crazy.
I feel that. But that was a great record. You're right. Because he had the first thing came out was like Exhibit something.
Yeah, Exhibit C. Yeah.
Yes, and then it was like when's more coming, and then they came out. You're right.
Yeah, that came out. Yep, that was a great. I mean,
so you got Jay Electronica.
Jay Electronica, Pusha T. I mean, obviously Andre 3000 is top. You know,
genius. Yeah,
genius.
You got 4 in there, no West Coasters.
Oh my God, I haven't gotten. It's 5 is too small. I need top like 27.
Yeah.
You know, UGK was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Ghetto Boys so much.
Great.
The Ghetto Boys album, like that. Fuck,
incredible. That's Texas.
But they're not known for like. It's not that they're lyrically top 10 lyricists.
They're not. Classics though.
You know, I'm trying to think West Coast. Like, you know, you can get into a whole thing with like. There was a whole lyrical movement in the West Coast in the 90s, you know, Saphir and fucking Project Blow and all that shit too. And then trying to think, fucking catch. Oh, man.
Damn, it's hard.
Cam was really good.
Cam. Yeah.
It's tough.
Is that a K?
Yeah, K.
Oh,
Cam.
yeah, that's right. That's some
Peace
old
Treaty,
shit.
all that Project Pistol Grip Pump, Project, fuck. There's so many. I'm trying to think. I know it's escaped me.
Obviously Cypress too, though.
Cypress is great.
Big
I got to
deal.
think of, there's got to be a West Coast person that, who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting someone huge.
Ice Cube.
Because when you say specifically lyricists, right? Like you're not talking like all around music.
Ice Cube's, I think he's underrated too, man. All those.
I mean, Ice Cube's first 3 albums, like, are you kidding me?
Fucking
mind-boggling,
insane, dude.
crazy. Like
incredible, but nobody really puts him in their top.
No,
he was
incredible. I'm trying to think who the
Ice
fuck.
T's out here. What else? Cypress Hill.
Ice T was an early one of mine.
From Dubious. I guess House of Pain's from out here, and yeah.
How am I not? What is
the West Coast shit though? Dre, Snoop, all that shit's whatever.
Amazing.
Too Short.
Too Short was amazing.
DJ Quick.
What am I forgetting?
Sugar Free, yeah.
Sugar Free
I saw him
amazing.
perform recently. Was that some random thing I went to?
Yeah, he did a Born and Raised shoot. It was sick.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
YG's killing it. Then we have new artists that are killing it.
I'm trying to think of who. Oh, fucking, you're forgetting about TDE. Those guys.
Yes.
That whole rock, you know, Kendrick
to
Schoolboy Q to fucking, you know, Absol. Those guys are fucking amazing.
Did you work with TDE already on stuff or no?
We did very early on. We did Schoolboy Q's album release party for his first album.
Sick.
And again, like Spanto was like looked like E.T. Like he showed up with a cane, face pure white, bloated.
Fuck.
And he came to the party. You know, he shows up, and we had a party. It was Schoolboy Q and Tyler and them.
Damn.
And they did the party. There's a video of that too. And I got on a budget. I got a refrigerator, airbrushed the fridge, right? So it was all sparkly. Filled it full of popsicles in the freezer and beer. And then I rolled 1,000 TDE joints. So the way I did it, I had interns take a stamp and it said TDE BXR, and I had them stamp every paper.
Holy shit.
And I got like 10 rolling machines and I had them roll 1,000 joints and gave out joints, you know, and like,
wow.
We just, you know, whatever, you know, we just did what we could with what we had,
yeah.
You know, and then that's also, Born and Raised is also known for throwing some of the best parties in LA.
Yes.
Culminating in Sadie Hawkins.
I have written down the Sadie Hawkins one, the whole one that Jessica told me about she goes to too.
Yeah.
And that's just like, he says like a celebration of life. Like
yeah.
Every year you celebrate.
It's New Year's Eve for LA. It's
the
New Year's Eve party that you always wish you went to and you never get to go to.
I love to come to one of those. I heard great things about it. She's always telling me about it.
You gotta come.
Celebration of survival.
Yeah.
The real New Year's Eve. Yeah.
The real New Year's Eve. Yeah.
And so what do you hold them everywhere they change different spots?
The venue moves around. It's grown bigger and bigger. It was at a small hall in Island Park in the first year, and now it was at, you know.
So it's like dress up.
Oh yeah, you can't get
real
in.
adult shit.
You have to wear a suit. You know, you don't have to wear a suit, but you can't wear
a suit. Yeah.
You can't wear clothes. You can't wear your fucking bullshit fucking clothes, your graphic tees, your hats, none of that shit. It's chaotic, and now it's turned into like The Walking Dead. Like it's just people are screaming, trying to get in. It's just
a real big deal.
Getting in is the hardest part.
Okay.
It's hours to
Unless
get in.
I know you.
Yeah.
Good.
Even sometimes you know me, I'm like, I come out to grab you, and then there's like 30 other people who are screaming. I'm like, I don't know how to just get, it's like the last fucking boat to the island type shit. Like,
so
it's
is it foods, drinks, dancing all night? It's like a
it's drinks, it's dancing. There's not a lot of food. There's a photo booth. There's like world-class DJs. The music is insane. The thing about the party is that everyone's dressed amazingly and everyone is dancing.
Okay.
Which is rare for LA. People don't dress up. People don't dance.
Yeah.
At that party, people dress up and dance, and it has such notoriety that like everyone's going to be there. And every year it evolves and changes. It gets bigger and better, and et cetera.
So it's like it's New Year's. When you guys have it? What's the?
No, we have it in November.
Okay.
Around Thanksgiving. Right around Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I like that. What about the podcast? Is that going to continue?
Yeah, the podcast is going to continue. I'm going to...
You drop it once a week?
Once a week. I do the podcast. I'm starting to do like studio... Like it's video, right? So I'm starting to do studio visits, which I want to do more of. And
studio visits, yeah.
Yeah, like I want to pull up at someone's studio and like look at their work and talk to them. But I
like that.
I've let the podcast kind of like exist in a way where I just pull up and do it. I'm going to be giving it a little more attention. And I'm going to kind of
more time on it. Yeah.
I'm going to address it a little bit, like graphically, thematically. I've just been doing it. It's a thing where I'm like, okay, 4:00, got to go do this, and then go back to whatever. Now I'm going to take a little more interest in it and figure out how to properly do it, because it's at a point where it's like, I got to figure out how to monetize it, or else I can't do it anymore. Because like we make a little money, but it's like we got to. And I know that there's enough of a cult following, because I'm running into people. When something works, I run into people all the time, like Powerful Truth Angels, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, so I know it's working.
Yeah.
But how do I get over that hump? How do I get from 5 to 12K to 30K to 50K an app? You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
And I know that that's a process that I have to pay attention to, and I can't just let it run on autopilot anymore. So I'm going to be paying attention to that properly.
And they're still consistently coming out right now?
Yeah, every week we do one. And once in a while I miss a week because work's crazy, but rarely.
And what do you do that at? What do you film it at?
Well, now we are in a studio in Burbank, but we filmed it at my house. And then when I moved, we filmed it satellite a couple places. But now we've settled into a studio that's connected to a bunch of other podcasts. And like we're just like sharing space with them.
You need to get a new host, or just keep it you?
I've always thought about having a co-host, but I can't figure out who.
Yeah.
It would be nice to take the weight off, because I have to have guests. Because sometimes I do it on my own. I just talk into a fucking void.
It's the worst.
And I've done it, and now I'm like,
that.
I can't do it anymore.
I can't do it either,
It's
man.
like, it's also so fucking solipsistic, and it's hard. It makes your brain hurt.
It does. It's
you know
weird
what I mean?
just talking into the wall, like just trying
it's
to...
It's crazy time. Like, it's like you're in the shower for fucking 90 minutes, like yelling. Like, fuck that. You know?
Some people can really pull it off. Rappaport, he pulls it off. He's always just...
Oh, yeah, he's a maniac.
He's great with that. He started with that. He had some guests here and there, but it's kind of hard to do by yourself. I like having guests once in a while, but actually just talking, it's kind of...
It's tough.
It's hard.
Because I'm also... And I have nothing to talk about.
You enjoy
I'm talking about myself. I love doing the podcast. I love it. It's great. It's fun. It's just kind of became a chore because of all the other things I'm working on, and it just became a thing where I'm like, fuck, I got to do it today? Okay. And I pull it together, but then when I'm in it, it's fun. Like, listen, everything getting up to the show, like I find this with shooting too. Everything before the show and after the show is annoying and tedious. But the day of, on the day, is fun.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm shooting something, the pre-pro is shit, the post-production is shit, but the day of is great.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, that's when I feel alive. On the day I'm set, I'm talking, boom. Everything else is like, ugh. I think my attention span is just like, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you ever want to get married, have kids?
Yeah.
Your dad?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. I think like...
I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, I better hurry, because I don't want to be a fucking, 80-year-old codger chasing around some fucking 10-year-old. But like, I'm down, but I'm down to... It's not really about the kids. It's like, I just want a partner.
Yeah.
I know that.
Have you had a good partner before in your life? Like
yeah. I've had, like, the last one was really good,
couple years, long time.
3 years.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, but there were some things that made it not work, and like, the age gap was crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They'll do it.
Yeah. And I've had like, I think that, to be completely honest, like, I think that me figuring out how to properly know that I want that has been a lifelong process, because I spent a lot of my time fucking around, spent a lot of my time in weird relationships, I've been trying to figure it out, because I come from a place that's not, I don't have a model.
Yeah.
Again, everything I figured out on my own. My model for that is chaos. So I've had to work my way out of that,
Yeah. Do you talk to your moms? Do you close your mom?
Yeah, I talk to my mom. Like, I talk to my mom. I talk to my dad. Like, my family is not what you'd say close.
Yeah.
Like my ex, when she would see her mom, she would like light up like Christmas tree, like she just saw her like fucking Kendall Jenner. Or
My wife's like that with her mom. They're super tight,
like,
and I wasn't like that.
What is this? I was like,
maybe mom and daughters are different. I don't know, man. This is really serious bond.
Crazy, like excited, like oh my god.
It makes me like feel like oh,
but not
fuck.
everyone doesn't have that relationship. Some people hate their mom. Some it's
I don't hate my mom. I just have some things.
I got boundaries. You gotta.
But they must be proud of you though.
Yeah, everyone's proud of me. They're proud of me. I think I've made good. I think that for a long time my mom was like, "What the fuck is going on?
Dead or jail or something?"
What's he doing? Yeah, what's he doing? And then now it's like, "What's up?" I think
it's your sobriety for you. It's like one day at a time type thing.
One day at a time, baby. One day. It's just that's it. I can't call my shots. I don't know where it's going. If you ask me, like if you put me to it, I don't plan on getting high.
Yeah.
But that's all contingent upon how close I stay to this thing. If I drift away and I stop doing meetings and I don't do my therapy and I don't do all the things that keep me sane and sober, eventually there is a huge chance that I might slip.
Yeah.
And if I fucking have one, I'm going to have a million and then it's over.
Yeah.
And I'm a fucking animal. Does
that scare you?
It doesn't scare me because I'm staying in the mix.
Yeah.
But it would scare me if I drifted away. And there are going to be times in my life where I'm not going to have access, but I always go back. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm shooting something. I have to go out of town for 2 weeks. I come back. I miss 2 weeks. I feel crunchy. I get fucked up. I come back. I go to I stay in touch with my people. Like I've learned my lesson. It took a long time. I'm hard headed, but it took a long time for me to learn this. Like there's a lesson for me, and the lesson is, there's something about me that needs to be addressed, or it will eat me alive. And if I don't address it on a daily basis, I'm not going to have what I want in my life.
Yeah.
And I know that.
Yeah.
There's a thing in the literature that talks about like, a man with no legs that will never grow back, right? That's a thing. So like I think about that. I'm like, those legs are not coming back. I can cry about it. I can be angry about it. And I've spent time doing that and be like, why do I have to do this shit? Fuck that. And I can rebel or I can accept it and realize that if I do the work, I feel better. And then when you start doing it, you're like, this isn't so bad. Yeah. It's fine. It's actually kind of cool. It's great. I like doing it. It's fun. I have a whole bunch of people like that I get to interact with. I learn things. It's amazing. I'm lucky.
Community. Yeah.
I'm lucky.
You do therapy too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been in therapy for 23 years.
Wow.
If I hadn't done that, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Jessica got me into going to therapy too. I love it too. It's a big deal.
It's huge.
Just talking to somebody else and shit. Yeah. It wasn't cool to talk about therapy back in the day.
What, are you kidding me?
Suck in your feelings and man up and not fucking have emotion and all that shit. But like, I love how you can just talk about it now. It's like, it's actually cool when you do it.
It's cool. Yeah, everyone's like, on the East Coast, people are like, I got to shrink. And the West Coast is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But now everyone's fucking, they're taking reels of themselves fucking crying and doing ayahuasca. Who knows what's going on? It's like, it's ridiculous.
So you can try to ease up on your social media?
I might do that artist way thing where that it's like a book. It's like this process where you like learn to get more in touch with your creative, whatever. I'm not a woo-woo type of dude, but I'm desperate to cut the bonds with this thing. It's fucking me up. It is fucking me up, dude. Like I am like.
In what sense you think just like wasting your time?
Wasting my time. I'm locked in. I'm chewing. Like I'm obsessed. Also, like
you post funny shit though.
I do post funny. Yeah, I do post funny. Yeah, like I need to limit it though. Like, but also the phone itself. Like I find myself on the freeway looking at a PDF, giving notes. Like I'm gonna die.
That's bad.
Like that's crazy.
It's really bad.
And I'm used to it. I can drive with I can drive with a pinky and steer with my fucking foot and have.
Yeah, you may be, but somebody around you might not be. They might fucking.
I don't want
phone too.
Yeah, it's. I need to fucking get it together. Like I see this.
The addiction's for all ages too. This fucking thing, man.
Oh, it's fucked.
From babies on iPads when they're fucking first born to like now, like I'm 50s.
It's fucked. No, I go to the gym, right? You go to the gym. We roll. We do jiu-jitsu. Like
you
that's
put
one
your
time.
Phone away for that,
you put your phone away, but as soon as they go, okay, take a break, everyone hops out on the phone and starts looking back down, and then gets back in the mats. It's like, what are we doing?
I know, man.
Like and
it's gonna be bad for us, dude.
I need to figure something out. Like it's like I need to fucking I don't know. Do you need a fairway?
It's not destroying your life though, but it's taking up all your time.
It's not destroying. Listen. There's a lot of things about it that are great, but I need to like find a way to restrict myself because I'm like I'm out there.
Do you follow a lot of people?
Yeah,
so I just unfollow mad people. I was following so many people that I really don't even know, so I couldn't even see like what my real friends were doing on a daily basis. So that all the algorithms and all that bullshit. Like the point is to kind of catch up with your friends, see what they're doing in a sense.
I'll easily follow anyone's. If I see memes on your page that are funny, I'm following you. Yeah, I don't care. I don't play
So
the
you
game.
love memes, okay? Yeah.
I fucking love it. I'm addicted to that shit. I love it. I can't get enough of it. It's like,
Do you make memes too or no?
Yeah, I do sometimes, but I don't have time to fully do it. But I want to. I have, and I've slipped a few of my own in there.
Yeah.
But I mostly repost people's memes. It's hilarious. I can't get enough of it. It's like, but also it's part of the thing. It's the gamification of the phone and the fucking beeps and the chirps and the whistles. Like, there's so many ways to get sucked into this phone. Like, I was playing online poker in the pandemic, and like I have a bunch of my friends who they're probably playing right now.
Yeah.
They're fucking completely hooked. And like, there's real money on the line, and there's a lot of money on the line sometimes. And that shit was crazy. Cause like you're sucked in. I would be in there till 4 a.m. just being like, oh, I gotta get my money back. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like,
yeah.
And because everything's gamified, and it's like all those little things, little beep, chirp, whistle, boom, boom, boom. It does shit to our little animal. Our little fucking orangutan brain can't handle it. It's like too powerful.
We're going to find out in a couple of years like how fucked we are.
No, it's fucked. It's fucked. I would like to, like, I honestly the other day was like, maybe I need to get a flip phone and put this thing away.
It's kind of hard. That's what Pete Davidson has now. I saw him in an interview the other day. He has a flip phone.
Yeah.
He only has an iPad at his crib.
I might do that.
He doesn't want to look at social media at all because he feels like the world hates him and he's on a flip phone always.
That's a good reason too. Yeah, the world.
But flip phone's kind of hard, man. Two-way pagers, fucking sidekicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the sick at the cartoon sidekick.
But then how am I going to look at a PDF on the road? Like, how am I going to do that? I'm going to fucking, I got to get.
But on the road, you're not supposed to look at it on the road, though.
I'm not supposed to look at PDF. Yeah, I know.
Fuck, man, we're so fucked. We're all addicted to everything,
It's
man.
fucked.
So yeah, the phone, you stopped eating sugar, but your phone is probably worse for you.
It's whack-a-mole, man. It pops up, it never goes away. It's like I need to be fucking fully zen and become Rick Rubin and walk around barefoot and fucking meditate all day. And
I don't know how that guy's not on his phone either.
he doesn't even know what a phone is anymore, I'm sure.
Steve Jobs said he wanted to create the extension of the human body with the phones, and he absolutely did that, dude.
100%. Well, I remember...
Last thing you look at, the first thing I look at.
I remember telling people, like, 5 or 6 years ago when they were talking about this whole singularity shit where we're going to merge with the machines. I was like, you guys, it's already happened because this phone never moves from a foot away from my head 24 hours a day. It's next to me on the bed.
You shut off at night completely?
I put it on Do Not Disturb.
Okay.
I'm trying I'll read for like a few days, and then I slip, and I'm back on the phone right before bed.
I think if you weren't single, that wouldn't be happening because you had a relationship before.
Fucking
absolutely. Somebody to talk to in real life. It's a person.
They're not going to stand for it. She's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You make contracts with your partner. Hey, let's not do this.
Because you'd be like, I'm working because you're working 24/7. Like your mind, like your company.
My mind is I'm not always working.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore.
You gotta shut off. We're getting older.
Yeah.
Sleep's really important for you, man. All that shit you're doing, just gotta add that sleep a couple more hours, man.
I'm trying, man. Toby, I'm trying to fucking sleep. I want to sleep. Let me fucking please.
You have a sauna too?
Yeah, I got a sauna.
That helps you sleep.
Yeah, I got a sauna.
You do the ice, you do the hot.
I don't have the ice yet, but I'm gonna get the ice.
I'm working on that. I'm gonna work on that.
Okay.
Will you do cold showers?
Yeah, I'll do a cold shower, a hose off. The sauna is just like, Jesus Christ.
How hot does yours get?
It gets pretty hot, but I'm gonna clip a wire. I got my buddies gonna come over and clip the wire so it just blasts like it goes to 200.
My boy told me to take my thing, put it on the floor, and put a towel on. Mine gets 250 already. Anything
250?
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're good.
So you can put a towel on top of this thing. It makes it even 300. I ain't doing that.
You put a towel on top
no,
of the
I ain't
heater?
doing that. My boy told me I'm not doing it. Mine's already 250.
200 is good, bro.
Yeah. You have like infrared or just the water?
No, rocks. I got
Love
the rocks.
that shit. Classic.
Rocks, yeah.
Infrareds was like the Peloton of the pandemic. Like everybody said, you have to get infrareds. You can have your phone in there. I don't want to be on my phone in my sauna. I call it the hot box. We tell all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
We tell things you can't talk about around your phones.
Yeah.
And then the ice is just.
I bring the phone in there too, and it overheats.
Yeah, dude, you're not supposed to have.
I know.
Damn, you're really addicted.
I'm fucked up,
bro. No phones in there. Your shit's gonna fucking explode. You can't do that.
I have a problem right now. And
you do.
It's because I'm single. It's because the house is empty. I'm trying to escape. I'm also like talking to people on the phone.
But not in the sauna, dude. That's your place to fucking unwind. That's the whole point.
It's crazy. I like to get another person in there so I can talk to them. Then I'm not on the phone. But I'll be on the phone there by myself until the phone dies. I'm like this.
It's whack. The cold plunge came with this extension. I just found it the other day where I could put my phone and prop it on the. I'm never doing that, dude.
For the timer part, right? You want to time yourself.
I don't time anymore. I don't time anymore. I didn't know I was going 13 minutes in that bitch.
13 minutes?
Uh-huh.
Holy shit.
I did that, and then people start hitting me up and go, I see what you're doing at your house. I've done that before. What are you trying to prove? 1 to 3 to 5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Anything after like 2 minutes really starts having good positive effects on you.
Yeah.
Like 1 to 2. That's according to Dr. Andrew Huberman, my say-all, be-all of everything.
Yeah.
But other than that, like 5-10 minutes, it's not changing what you could do underneath
Huberman's like Rogan's Rogan,
bro.
Right? Like there's Joe Rogan who's like, they call him Bropra, right? He tells all the bros what to do. But Huberman's like the real guy. He's the guy behind the guy. And like, that guy is like, he's like, listen, I'm from Stanford, homie. Like,
he used to do it all text and send screenshots of shit. Like, because one time Rogan's like, I go in every morning and you can you can do ice plunge before you work out. You're not supposed to do that.
I've heard that too.
But that's their riff they're having for a couple months. And like Rogan did 30 minutes in this ice thing. You know what I mean? Like
30 minutes.
I feel like these guys are doing on some alpha shit. Like I could do it longer than you, and I don't want to get into that headspace.
Yeah.
So anything I see, like I'll screenshot, I'll text Andrew. Is this true? Like I just quit caffeine 2 weeks ago, but I was on yerba. I saw Andrew Huberman did a tweet. It's a picture of him with his dad, and he's drinking tea. He's like, I've been drinking yerba mate since I was 9 years old. I was like, bet. I'm going to go back on the caffeine. If he's a real doctor. I'm going to listen to him over Rogan. I'm sorry, man.
No,
he's like so legit.
Yeah. we gotta have someone to listen to. You know?
Yeah, and he's giving out real gems every day for free, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking changed my life, dude.
There's another dude I follow. His name's Dr. James.
Okay.
I'm going to find this guy.
Is he just as cool and handsome and was a skateboarder like fucking
I don't know.
Huberman's fully tatted?
Everyone loves Huberman. Everyone
I
across
know Jessica
the board,
loves Huberman.
Women and men, like gay men.
Dude.
They're like my buddy's like, oh my God, I saw Andrew Huberman. He's so daddy. I'm like,
including Jessica on Blow Up Spot.
Everybody.
All my friends who are women, yo, is he single? Yo, what's his deal?
Is he single?
But like, he's awesome, dude. I love him. He's giving out free advice and helping our lives, man.
I gotta find that.
What's his name?
This
Dr.
guy,
something?
Dr. James. This guy. This is what he does. He just puts notes up.
Okay.
And it's all the shit that we know.
See, if this is the shit you're looking at your phone, this is good shit if you look at your phone. I doubt this is all the shit you're looking at. But like that is
dude,
the shit.
I'll send this to you. This dude's sick because he just says like it's just very simple. It's like, the plan your meals for the week. Create it like he just tells you shit. Eat yams,
I like that. I need to be told shit
all the time. If you do the following, walk for an hour a day, drink 3 liters of water. But like it's just like, and it happens every day. And this positive reinforcement of these notes, and I read it and I go, yep.
Okay,
yep,
if this is the shit you're only on, I doubt it. I'd love to see what you're following.
I wish.
Also, the pandemic, was it hard for Born and Raised to make it through that? Was that a rough time?
We did a pivot. We were shutting down. We laid off half of our staff.
Fuck.
And we were having some serious conversations. And, I came up with a strategy. We implemented it, and shit blew up. We thrived.
Wow.
We pivoted. We looked at everything.
Online shit, everything, of course. Yeah.
Online. Yeah. We just were like, they're like, we have to ship. I'm like, there's no shipping.
I think a lot of people did that, man. A lot of brands, man.
You pivot.
Some died and some fucking went like that.
And people blew the fuck up. And people were spending. People were like, there's nothing to do but shop.
The money, they're getting the checks from the government, all that stuff too, man.
Listen, we're apex level consumers. Americans? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
What are we going to do with no time on our hands? We're going to fucking buy everything. I know. Everything all the time. I'm one of them. I'm trying not to be, but I am.
Amazon made billions and billions.
Yeah, all the companies that were smart and pivoted blew the fuck up. I talked to them like, this is where you really did it. Like, yeah.
So you guys thrived.
We thrived.
Wow.
We had a fucking glow up. We got bigger.
That's insane.
We got bigger and stronger.
Because everybody's at home. They're on their phones. Fucking.
Yeah.
Damn.
And you find a way,
Yeah.
By any means necessary, you figure out how to get it done. We got it done. There we are.
And that's kind of like your motto for your whole life. You said it right there. By any means necessary.
Yeah.
Everything you said you're going to do, you actually tried to do it. Even if you had to lie about it, you still made it happen.
Yeah.
And that's that PMA, what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve.
Yeah.
That's that shit. You're on that shit.
Yeah. A version of that.
Happen.
A version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not like, listen, I'm still scared all the time.
Still learning everything.
Still learning. Things are terrifying. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I'm like, I'm fucking, I got this. Like this thing I know how to do,
And people love and respect your brand, man.
Yeah, thank you. I think
they really do.
I think it resonates.
It doesn't. I don't think people like hate or try to compete with it. It's its own thing, and it's real.
It's its own thing.
It comes from real dudes.
It's a real
thing.
These are real stories.
It's not some dude from Hollywood who did something about Venice. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you lived it.
Yeah. No, it's all. This is our life.
Awesome.
This is our life's blood on these things. Like if you look at it, if you really look at it, it's all there's threads. We're storytellers more than we are anything else.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked to see your feature film someday.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I think it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it happen.
Maybe in your 50s. Everything's the best in the 50s, man.
That's what they say.
Don't even trip on it. Are you tripping on getting 50 or anything?
Of course, yeah.
Dude, it's a fucking number, man.
I know.
I feel the best ever film. I'm 53. I feel like I'm gonna run a marathon, bro.
I know. That's amazing.
I'm on a mission.
I know. I feel amazing. It's
good,
crazy.
man.
Yeah.
So you're in a good place. I'm stoked.
I'm in a good place, yeah.
Well, thank you to Jessica for connecting us too. I heard all these great things about you. You have to meet my man, Sean B. Love Sean B.
Oh my God. What a guy.
B.
What a fucking what a consistently. I've known that dude forever.
Me too. I met him in
same
projects. Yeah.
The same guy. Smile, nice.
Great smile.
A rarity in this town.
And he fucking turned around during the pandemic too with all his food and his cooking and his
Yep.
meals he was delivering. And
Yep.
then he's cooking in people's houses now. Like,
Yep.
really flipped it from the bar company he had to what he's doing now.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, he's a man.
All right, well, thank you for being here and sharing.
Thanks for
your
having me.
journey.
This
Of
was great.
course. You're great. This is great,
This
man.
is awesome.
Yo, Jessica, you still here? She's probably outside in the sauna.
Yeah.
She loves the sauna. She kills it.
Yeah.
We could sauna if you want. You
She's
probably,
the
have to, you
best.
probably have to dip now. It's 4:30. It's kind of early though. Whatever.
I would.
Your
but,
phone's been on the whole pod. And you just got stressing out about his phone.
Oh my god. My friend,
Two-tone. Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate your journey. Looking forward to see what happens next with your pod and just everything you're doing, man.
yo, thanks for having me on, man. This is awesome.
Of course, man.
This is fucking sick.
And thanks for listening, everybody. We're
All
out
right,
of here.
y'all.
Peace.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.
So we had to jump on back on this podcast. Luckily, it hasn't come out yet because a lot's happened since we first talked in here a couple months ago. So welcome back, Alex Two-Tone. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I know it's been a struggle to get me over here, but
You're busy, man. Yeah, so much has happened since the last time you were here. Like,
Yeah.
so busy, man. You, like your whole world's been just like on an upside down, around and around, and then like as of yesterday, you dropped the Nike SBs or beautiful shoes and all the merch and stuff. It sold out so fast. It's like
Yeah, it was crazy.
so crazy, man.
Yeah.
That was such a big build up for that too.
Yeah.
Because originally I think the ones had a different thing on them. You had to change up the whole kind of shoe, right? As far as what was written on them.
No.
I wasn't.
That was always there.
Wow.
All that information on the shoe, that's been baked in for a long time.
Wow.
We made that shoe, I think it was probably pencils down like a year ago, maybe. So it's really uncanny that like the string says in loving memory, like all that stuff is already there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So yes, I mean, it's for the listeners, you know, in the first part of this conversation, he was talking about Born and Raised and the beginnings of it and where it's at now, and his partner Spanto, who since has passed away, rest in peace, Spanto, and the love and everything I've seen for this for him is insane, man. It's just it's so beautiful, man.
Crazy. Yeah, I
wish I got to meet him. So.
Oh wow, you never met him. That's crazy because he met everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that he, you know, the reaction to his passing in the city was wild. Like I mean, you just, you know, you don't know. You don't ever think about it. You don't think about what would happen. I don't ever think about any of that. And then seeing like the murals went up so fast, like it was like, and like huge, big murals. Like,
yes.
You know, this shit, I mean, instantly. It was like people are painting, like, you know, it was crazy. The reaction's insane. It was kind of like on a Nipsey level.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
But that's because, you know, it's two reasons. One is he was built up to be a mythical figure, right? Like that was part of the deal. And he also was in the fucking streets 24/7, pulling up on everybody he could, and he took an interest in people. You know, you hear things about people after they die. I'm like, oh, fucking Spanto helped carry my mom up the stairs because she was sick, or like literally, I'm like, what the fuck? You know, You hear this stuff. Spanto helped me just do this thing, and he said that, you know, and like, so he really connected with a lot of people. He invested into a lot of people, and you know, I think that that's always been kind of part of the ethos for Born and Raised, is that like all we've had is people, because we didn't have any money, so it was just like, you know, and the funny thing is, like, it's still, you know, we still have to ask people for favors all the time. Like, people are like, oh, you know, like, we still have to make things work. It's not, you know, like, we have a company to run. There's employees. Like, it's not like this thing is just like, you know, it's not what people think it is. I'll put it that way. So we still ask for we ask for favors. We ask people to do this. We still have to like figure out ways to make things work, because, you know, that's what running a small business is. Yeah. And, you know, contrary to what people may think, it's still a small business, you know, like, it's not mom and pop, I don't think, but it's definitely not a fucking big business, you know? So, but yeah, we used to, you know, we would reach out to people around us all the time and say, oh, I know this kid, or like, I remember this kid. Fuck, this is another sad. I just realized this in the middle of all this shit. Shout out to Andrew Estrada. This is, you know, this is crazy, but this kid, so much shit has happened, man. It's fucking insane. This year has been crazy. But I ran into this kid about, I don't know, 8 years ago. I'm in a coffee shop in Starbucks. Little redhead Mexican kid. And I'm in the Starbucks. I'm just chilling. And I'm looking at this kid. And I'm watching him trying to chat up the barista.
Okay.
She's 18 inches taller than him. I'm looking at this kid. I'm like, damn, this kid is fucking balls. Like, he's just trying to rizz up this girl who was like taller and older than him. And he was fearless. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, this kid's hard. And I followed him out of the Starbucks, which is like, it's like, hey, hold on a minute. This is not what you think it is. Like, let me talk to you. I'm like, listen, man, I have a label. I just think I like your look. You want to come shoot for us? Yeah, whatever. This kid, Andrew. So we pull up on Andrew, and like, he pulled up to the office. Same shit. He lived, we had an office in MacArthur Park. He lived around the way. He was a kid out in the streets in the mix. He had a small crew of kids. We grabbed that kid. We shot them. We put them in some campaigns. I started shooting that turned into me shooting this like mini documentary about him that I never finished cutting. It was for fucking Vincent Haycock and A.G. Rojas had this project they were doing. And they're like, will you do one of these films for us? And I was like, sure. I shot it. I never finished cutting it because I got too busy. But, this little redheaded kid, the coolest look, he just had that thing. He had that star. Yeah. He had the same quality that Spanto had. He had that same star quality. But the problem with that star quality is that like when you have that quality and you're in the hood or some shit, like it will not always lead to the path it would lead to if you didn't live in the hood, right?
Gotcha.
So or even, I guess other people too might have it and it burns out, but like Spanto got him out and it worked. But with this kid, he had that thing. He was a live wire. He'd rally his friends. He was the leader of the crew. And, we followed him around for like a couple days shooting him. And I think like a year later, he got caught up. He got an attempted murder charge.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't, he was just fucking around. Like he was just a kid. Like he really like, you see it from the inside. Like, the courts will paint this kid as a monster, but like I met his folks. I know where he came from. Like, his family was like who they were. They were probably from a neighborhood. Yeah. He grew up in it. He was smart. He had guile. He had fucking game. He got caught up. I think he might have shot at someone. I don't know what happened. He ended up in jail. He was in jail he grew up in jail. And I would try to stay in touch with him through like his brother and Instagram. And I just saw this post. I just remembered it right now because things moving so fast. He fucking died. This guy died. Yeah. And I never finished the film. I'm going to pull that film out and find it. I mean, he's just like this little, I'll show you on my phone. I mean, I shot this kid. Now that I really think about it, I shot him when he was young. He was like 13, a little badass kid smoking weed. Like, and I just didn't, I don't know, man. You just never know where things are gonna go. And I thought the kid's gonna get out of jail. He come see us. We do a story about him. We shoot a campaign. Like here's him now. But he fucking died. Yeah, he fucking died. I don't know how he died. I got to reach out to his people and figure out what happened. But I don't know why. I just thought of that. But the reason why I thought of that is because we would just reach out to people around us.
Yeah.
Yo, so-and-so's little brother. This guy's cool. This guy's got a good look. Like it's always been that way, and it still is. I'm still just like, oh. That makes sense. That guy looks like someone that we might have grown up with. Yeah. That guy's got a cool look. Like, and if you look at the trajectory of like Born and Raised and like how we shoot and who we shoot, it's like very much there's an identity
for sure
around us that's portrayed by the people that we shoot to.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not like it's very organic.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I went off in this fucking tangent, but
no. But even in the Nike SB thing you directed. Like all the kids with the gold fronts, just everybody. Lee's in there from Trash Talk. Just all the diversity, all the people in the current Nike SB thing you directed. It's so amazing, man. Thank
you. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to say this, like Spanto, the SB project for Spanto, everything Spanto did was like the most important thing at the time.
Yeah.
He was like crazy like that. He was like, yeah, it has to be, I'd be like, yo, everything can't be the Mona Lisa, bro.
Yeah.
But he, everything had to be. But this was really, really, really his most serious project. And anyone that worked with him was like, he would have 20 ideas. I'm going to do this. And they were all over the top, crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, hey, man, pick 3, measure twice, cut once. Like, but that the thing with him too is that he would actually do it all. And I was like, I don't have that kind of energy. I'll do 2 good things. He would do 5. He would just figure out a way to do it. He just would not stop. Anyways, with this commercial, he had put a whole bunch of shit into motion. Okay. And he had made a bunch of promises to a lot of people about what was going to happen. And when he passed, everyone's like, what's up? People are hitting me. What's going on with this commercial? What are you going to do? So I did my best to encapsulate a lot of those ideas that he came up with.
Yeah.
A lot of them are mine, but a lot of the key points are like, you know, the whole thing with the wall ride in the studio, right? The rail slide inside the studio. Like the whole concept was like, it was a rail slide in front of like maybe a white seamless. But when we put it in front of the white seamless, it looked like shit. It doesn't look good on video, on film. So, you know, I took his ideas and I obviously put them through my filter as we did together. And I made something that I believe that when it was all said and done, even if there are parts that he might have disagreed with, he would have loved it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And I know that in the wake of him passing, I cannot make everybody happy. I learned that pretty quickly. There's just people that are gonna be upset, and there's nothing I can do to make them feel better because it's not in my power. But all I can do is do the best I can, especially with a project like this.
Yeah.
To like, I really tried to do him. You know, I really tried to do Spanto on this one, but also I had to also reference him passing. I had to tell a cohesive story.
Yeah.
And also like, you know, the you know, I had to rewrite this thing as I went because the casting changed. There was a person that was going to be in this thing in the front, like a marquee actor who couldn't do it. Like there's all these things that had to change. So, and everything happened. The way things happen is, you know, a lot of things that help Born and Raised, like, you know, we spot opportunity as it unfolds. Like, oh shit, that dude can do a kickflip in full regalia. So Fetty had a Phantom on set. Shout out to Federico, by the way. I don't know if he's going to listen to this, but Federico's a skate shooter. He's also a really good DP. I made it very hard for him, not on purpose. Like you couldn't get a hold of me for weeks when I was prepping this thing. It was fucked up. It was no one could get a hold of me. People were texting me, calling me. Federico's trying to call me. I'm like, I cannot. I'm prepping like the biggest commercial for the brand. Like, the amount of energy it takes to make something like that work is crazy. Like the amount of energy it takes to make 2 minutes work like that is like, it's the prepping, the thinking, the planning, the talking. Like it is intense. You're just going 24/7 for weeks.
Yeah.
And Fetty couldn't get a hold of me, and I was like, listen, just like pull up and like, you know, bring your cameras and like shoot these guys whenever you can, but like I got to focus on this. And he did, and he was really fucking cool about it. He didn't take it offended. He wasn't offended by like how busy I was, and I really appreciate that. And he made some beautiful stuff. He made a whole skate video that's still coming out. He did a whole thing with clips. He shot all the he shot this whole thing, and you know, it couldn't make it into the film because it just didn't land on time. But the thing he did with the dude in the kickflip that I put in, Jamal, that shit was sick, and like it was beautiful. And he shot that with the Phantom, and it was like that's its own standalone piece. I mean, it's beautiful. As a matter of fact, we got to drop that piece. I didn't drop that teaser. So many things got lost. Like, you know, it's also crazy because I got to funnel everything through Nike. They have to approve it.
That must be crazy.
And there's like all these pieces that haven't even been seen yet because it's like, you know, once you start going, it's just like triage. It's like, okay, what's the most important thing to see? Okay, they got to see the film. So anyways, so I did my best to pay homage to him, to do what he wanted to do. Also to like, you know, to the neighborhood. Like there's all these people that he told, you know, you need to be a part of this. And there's also people where I was like, okay, this guy will fit here. Like I know him, and I know that there's people who are like, well, I wouldn't have chosen that guy. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's kind of where, you know, we all, whatever.
Yeah.
And that obviously you can tell I have his voice in my head when I'm doing things still, which is like, you know, I've made it very clear to people that like, hey, I'm here now. This is what I do. And that's all I can do. I cannot live in the idea of what someone else would have done. But that being said, his voice is in my head with shit.
Of course,
I'm like, oh shit. And I can hear him, and like I also know that I nailed it at the end. Like I know at the end it worked. Like
100%,
I know that.
man.
Yeah, it did work. Like I only knew that once it posted. Like because I was so burnt on it, I was like, by the time I was done shooting this thing and cutting it, I was like, this sucks. This is terrible. No one's gonna like, you know, you just get burnt. You're
over and over again watching it too. Yeah.
You're just like, what the fuck is this? You know. But then when it dropped, the engagement, the things happened at Nike. Nike's like, oh, we're putting this on billboards, on digital billboards. We're
Saw that. So cool.
Times Square, LA. Like, holy shit! I've never seen my work put on that side.
And it's funny because the first part of this, you're talking about wanting to like direct and do more things like this. I can see you doing like a doc about Born and Raised with Spantos now. I can see it, man.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Who else would do it?
Right. There's a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like, you know, that's my my thing first and foremost is filmmaking.
Yeah.
I also happen to be good at designing and also like strategy, creative directing, like full 360 idea of like what branding, art, film stuff is, or design, whatever. Like I know how to do that stuff because I've been doing all of it for so fucking long.
Yeah.
And it's all coalesced into like Born and Raised. The thing is that it's just been a part of the Born and Raised fabric. It's never been a thing where I'm like, hey, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's just kind of what we do. We haven't really been like, oh, like, I mean, it's obviously clear when I'm shooting a film, like, it's a different thing, I think. But anyways, so yeah.
But your life's changed drastically as far as Born and Raised is concerned. Like,
yeah.
Because it seems to me that you were the guy that really didn't go out all the time, and Spantos was always out there talking to the people, going to different things, and you kind of like, not behind the sines, but like you weren't really like always.
Yeah, I was trying not to.
But now, how has your position changed? Like, what is like?
I mean, I got to do it the way I do it. Like, I can't be out like he was.
Yeah,
he was out. Like, I like to go to bed. Yeah. I don't, I don't drink. I don't fucking smoke. I'm trying to like I'm trying to get to bed by 11. I usually get to bed by 12 because I want to get up at 6 or 7 so I can work out in the morning, just so my head's clear.
Yeah.
If I don't work out in the morning by about 4 o'clock, I start melting down because it keeps me going.
Gotcha.
I need that constant pressure. I need to fucking feel it. Like, especially when I'm rolling in the morning, like, I'm in that world for a little bit.
Yeah.
It makes everything easier. You're getting choked, you're choking someone. Like, it's just, okay, I can handle fucking some Zooms. Like,
Yeah.
But if I don't get my medicine, I don't function well. And like, I'm starting to realize too, as someone who's like, I used to feel really guilty and say, oh, I'd be like, damn, I'm spoiled because I'm pushing a meeting till after I work out. But you know what? You're getting a better version of me. Like, I understand this shit.
True.
You're getting a better version of me if I get my fucking medicine, and I'm fucked up. Like, my head is fucked up. I need my medicine. Like, I'm not. Yeah. I don't. My default operating system is not just like I need to like. I got to get myself in line, on a daily basis every day, and that's it. So, whatever it takes for me to do that, you're gonna get better work out of me if I'm in a better place mentally, because I'm a very, I'm an emotional person who is I just need to feel good about what I'm doing. I need to feel like I want to be in it. I want to be involved. I want to feel like what's happening. I want to be excited. When stuff starts getting like dreary and hard, we all have those nights where you're working on some shit. You're like, God damn it, what the fuck am I doing? You know? I mean, every time I shoot something, there's a day or two where I'm like, why am I doing this? This is hell. Pre-production is hellish. Shooting is beautiful. The day on set is beautiful.
Yeah.
Put me on set. Get me to set. I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I'm fucking present. The couple weeks before is dog shit. The weeks after, not so great. But the days of, gorgeous, because you're in it. You're living. And also you're there, and nothing new can really happen other than what you prep for. So prepping is hard for me. Some people excel at that. I'm just more like, I'm more of a, like I see myself more as like someone who's, like as a kid I was like a painter and did graffiti. So like I still have that idea of like I more just like paint things and smash them together, like collage things together than like prep.
Yeah.
So like if you look at like my office now, it's like I have these giant like boards cleated to like you'd like this. I took the office because like I came back into the office and I'm like, okay, let me look at what's happening in here, because when we got our new spot, we went in the spot, we had nothing, we had no furniture, and I was like, okay, let me just get these guys some desks. I bought some like off price shit from like an office I was getting rid of stuff. I bought a bunch of desks and chairs. I was like, and I dropped it in the middle of the office, and what happened was we dropped those desks and those chairs in the office, and people sat in them and just started working. So we never dressed the office really.
Wow.
It was just like go. It was just like, because the day one we're like, okay, time to go. That's what it's been. And I basically came back and I'm like looking at the team and I'm like, my team's been beat up. Like they're fucked up, like they're not fucked up, but like it's been rough. Like a lot of these kids haven't experienced like this level of like loss, I've been through it a bunch of times, but like maybe they haven't. And like I was like, okay, I need to make sure that they're okay. And the first thing I feel like is environmentally, you want to be in a space that feels good to work in. So the past couple month and a half, taking way longer than I wanted to, I've been rebuilding the office. And I talked to the team. They go, hey, we're going to, they're like, you take that room. They're like, we want you to go in that room because we want to keep you here. And we know you. And we know that if you build your little area, you'll stay here. Cause like I like to work from home a lot.
Yeah.
Like we need you here. I'm like, okay. So I take the back office, and the first thing I did was like, I'm like, okay, well, if this is going to work and now there's just one of us, right? I got to consolidate everything in my life that I'm doing into Born and Raised. Because I'm not gonna, I won't give anything up. Like I'm fucking psycho like that. Like I will never let go of anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, until it just withers and dies, I will hold on to shit. And so I took half the office and I built it out to look like my old apartment in Los Feliz.
Wow.
Which is where I used to shoot my podcast. So I put a mantelpiece in there, and I set it up so like it looks like my old apartment. Half of my office looks like an apartment. So awesome. I can point cameras into it and shoot. Because my thing's on YouTube. So I have that. And it's also cozy. Yeah. And also I like to nap. I got to have once a day. I hit the wall. I got to do 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Okay.
Yeah. The front. I'll show you.
It's good for you.
I'm gonna show you something. You're gonna like. You're gonna.
It's really
love this.
good for you though.
No, I don't have a choice. I go down. I got
anything longer than that. You kind of feel like groggy and shit.
You feel terrible. This won't.
Is there a certain hour a day you take naps?
4 o'clock is my nap time. If I can do 20 minutes at 4, I pop up. I'm ready to go. So all this stuff. This has been a part of how I worked forever. Like even in every office I've had. Yeah. And I've had a few offices. And this is why I start my own company, so I can fucking take a nap. Like, there's 2 reasons why I start companies. A, so I've never wanted to, I don't want to ever make a resume because it scares the shit out of me. And B, so I can take a nap and no one can tell me no. So like, you'll love this. Look at this. This is the door to my office. I'm gonna show this to you.
Fuck off! I'm napping. That's incredible, dude.
But look what happens.
It does look like an apartment. Holy shit. Wow. Yeah,
you see me? You see me?
Dude, that's crazy. It looks like an apartment. That's your office?
That's my office.
Wow.
And you see it? Like this is how bad I have to nap. I just grabbed a bundle of fabric and laid on the carpet and took a nap. Like I
love it, dude.
I have a couch in there now I can nap on. But
that helps stress and everything, man.
No, I can only do what the fuck I can do. Like I can't do it any other way. Like I cannot do it anyone else's way. Yeah. There are ways, and I've always felt guilty, like, oh, I should be doing. Like, no, fuck it. This is what I do. I need to do these fucking things so I can give you the best version of myself and give myself the best version. Because otherwise I'm miserable. And I've been miserable before in work. I spend so much time working, I might as well have a good time. Yeah. And, that's where I'm at with all that. And like, yeah, so we're rebuilding the office out. We're setting everything up. I got a guy in there. My buddy Alex is in there painting. Like he's, you see the painting on the door. He's doing a little sign painting here and there. Like I'm dressing it up to feel like a place where people want to be, and that was one of the first things I started doing. I'm like, I have to kind of get the team together and be like, okay, let's look at this thing. Let's look at how we're going to move forward. Like what's next? Because it can't be status quo. It cannot be like, also we can't appear to like, we have to be strong. Yeah. We have to come hard. Because I feel like as many people that are like supportive, there's also a bunch of people who are like, fuck those guys, like I can't wait for them to fucking eat shit. Be like, oh, Spanto's gone, fuck them, like I know that. I know how people think. People are shitty. So and shitty. Like, right? So my thing is like, no, fuck that. I'm coming back harder. Like I'm not, you don't, like that's how I respond.
Everything to prove.
Yeah. Like it's like, it's been a decade in the game. We're just getting started. It's unfortunate that he didn't get to see Nike. It really is. It's crazy. Listen, this whole shit, I was driving over here. I still haven't really conceptualized it. I still don't. I was like, wait, like, because I hit the ground running so fast. Yeah. But I don't deal with stuff like that. Like I don't know how to handle, like there was a death and a breakup
like mourning
before
and
this
stuff.
Happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It takes me. I'm very, very slow on the uptake. Okay. It takes me a minute to even process. Like I was still processing my buddy Alex, who died at the top of the year. Up until very recently, like I still was like, "What the fuck, Alex is it?" And then like I had this breakup, and like that took me a minute to process because it's like it filters through all my shit, Like and the same with Spanto. Like I'm just like every once in a while, I'm like, "What is going? Wait, what? Oh, wait, he's not here." Like I have to keep kind of telling myself, "Oh, he's actually not here." Yeah. Even though I'm doing all the things that are in the memoriam of him and all that stuff, but emotionally, I'm like, I don't know. That's crazy, and like. But it's true. It's a fact, You have
a chance to slow down and even think about it, like kind of take it in.
And I don't know that and like people are like, you need to take a break. You need to go on vacation by yourself. You need to slow down. And I'm like,
But you can't now.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I mean, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go on vacation. I don't want to go by myself. You know? I don't want to do that. Maybe I don't want to be by myself for, I'll take somebody with me. But like, I don't want to do that. But maybe I should. I don't fucking know. But I had people like, people in my life who are mentors or sponsors or whatever the fuck. They're like, you need to like, you should like, don't do, don't date and don't do this and don't do that. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be alone with my thoughts right now. Yeah. I don't want it. I just, it's a lot. I've had a lot of turnover this year. Yeah. I've dealt with a lot of major life changes, like big ones. And 100%. And I'm kind of afraid of, at this point, sitting down and taking stock of it all, because I got to keep moving right now. Because my job is like, right now is like making sure the team's taken care of, that they're happy, that they're all moving forward, that they're autonomous, and making sure that I can put this thing on rails so it works. Yeah. So if I do need to like step off for a minute and shoot something that's not born and raised, I can do that. Or if I need to like take, whatever it is, if I can take a couple weeks off and not freak out the whole time. Yeah. Like, and that, because I don't want to be that guy. Spanto was like, this is Spanto's first company, right? And I watched him. This is my second, maybe third. Like I had a clothing company. I had a bullshit production thing that didn't really make sense. And then I had this as far as companies I built. And I've had a million other weird projects. Yeah. So I've been through it like, a bunch of times. And this was his first time out. And, and I would look at him and just be like, what's up, man? How are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. I would look at him and just be like, he would, like I could tell him stuff. Yeah. But he had to learn it on his own. I'd be like, hey man, like, I'd be like, he didn't do this, but I'd be like, whatever you do in the clothing business is stay away from denim. That's what I tell him. I'm all, denim is terrifying. I just tell him shit I learned, Yeah. And it's not necessarily true. Doesn't mean that for everybody. We never touched it, but I know him. He would have done it because he had to figure. It doesn't matter what I said. He had to figure out on his own. I'm the same fucking way. Mm-hmm. You tell me don't do this. I'm like, well, I can do that, and then you do it. Like I had to learn the hard way in my first times out, like that. How to not micromanage, how to delegate, how to like learn to give people authority and autonomy. Like I had to learn that just so I could have a life. Yeah. Because I've spent time working where I've just literally been I've spent years sometimes where people didn't see me because I was working so hard, like just disappeared. And also when you disappear, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't doing any of the shit I was supposed to do. So I would just turn into this like troll. I'd come out with like fucking 60 pounds and a beard, just being like, just a creature. And like, that's not how, I don't want to live that way. Yeah.
But now you're doing the sauna, and we talked about, and you got the plunge now.
I got the sauna and I got the plunge. Yes. And you know what the sad irony is that I don't have time anymore. Wow. I've been running time for that though. Man. I've been running so fast on this. Like for 3 weeks, I've been in there a couple times, and I'm fucking bummed. Like now, I'm like, I went in there yesterday for like I have to take meetings in there. I don't tell my crew, but I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I'm on a company meeting in the sauna. They don't know it. Wow. And they're not gonna listen to this. Don't fucking listen to this. But
is it infrared?
No, it's rock sauna.
Wow.
Come on.
You bring your phone in that shit?
I put it. Well, there's a little tiny spot by the bottom where air comes in. Okay. I put it on speaker by that. Wow. And I mute it when I'm putting the shit on the thing. But sometimes I have to. I got to get my sauna in. So like this past few weeks, I haven't been able to. It's been too crazy. But like, yeah, I'll be in there taking meetings. I'll be on a phone call with someone in that thing. Like, the phone.
Can't do that shit in the plunge though. You can't be on the phone in the plunge.
No, you can't do the phone. I mean, it's kind of like it would be a good distraction to try to talk to someone, because you have to play it off. Yeah. Like you might forget, but the plunge is brutal. Yeah.
How much pressure do you feel that you have to take that you're running the company now? Like, do you feel pressure from all everybody? What is it? Spider, bro. It's a spider?
Yo, spiders are everywhere right now.
I know.
They're like invading, like they're fucking everywhere. What's going on? Is it spider
Dude, we saw a huge one last night, like outside. Whoa. What? Come on, to the podcast, man. Sorry. It jumped in you. Get that shit out of here. We're doing a podcast. Okay, keep talking. He filmed one last night though. We're gonna show you the video. Yo, they're everywhere. Are you feeling pressure? Are people like trying to pull you all different ways? Like, you should do this, you should do that. And you're like, no, this is me. I've always been me. This is me here.
No, I'm like, I've never.
You can't be two people.
I'm crystal clear on what needs to happen. Okay. There's the one thing that is happening is like, I'm like, guys, like I talk to everyone. I go, what do you think about this? But I have a path. And I'm like, here's our path. And they're like, we fuck with that. And but not like, listen, I have a very clear path. Now that being said, I check with everybody. I call people all the time. I call
Nice.
fucking Chris Gibbs. I call like, I talked to the owner of like Stussy at this dinner and like, hey, what do you think? Like I ask anyone that will talk to me, I talk to you. If you've been around and you know shit and you're in a position that I think is cool or whatever, I'm going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to anyone I don't think is legit, but I'm going to talk to anyone else that's in my business and like, what do you think? What do you think? And like, come to find that a lot of these ideas that me and fucking Silky's Darius is a long member of the company, are making sense to like, they're like, yeah, you should be doing that. That is a good strategy. And I'm going to take some like, I'm going to put my balls on the table. Like, fuck it. Like, let's make some moves because I don't like I don't want to, I can't do anything else but what I need to do and what I think should happen. But I'm also like, this is not hard for me. That's the thing. Like, this is not like what's hard is navigating. There are points in my day where I'm like stressed out because like so many people are coming at me and I'm like back to back. It's like me and like sometimes my head's fucking, it's you start to like, and I'm trying to teach myself to not, because I also know that like I need to not express that to people and I need to not vent that to people. Like there's people that I can talk to. There's got to be ways for me to let that out, but I can't turn to my guys and be like, fuck, which I have done. Like they're my friends. Yeah. But I realize that like in this position, I'm like, down. I have to, you understand now. Like I understand like why people get short. Like I hear myself and I'm like, I get short with people because sometimes it's like, we're dealing with minutes. Like we're dealing with like, I'm talking like 6-7 hours of meetings a day. Sometimes I try to stay out of it. And it's like, and sometimes in that meeting, there's multiple, like there's something I'm navigating a text call while I'm on the meeting. Like, and there's times I'm like, hey, just give me the short version of this. I don't want to hear a goddamn poem. Like, I'm not a fucking asshole, but like, I understand why people are assholes.
But time is precious too, especially.
Right. Yeah. I was talking to I was talking to my buddy and, he's helping me deal with like, basically, he's an accountant, right? He's a business manager. And I'm talking to him and I'm talking to him about like the stresses of work. He goes, listen, he goes, he worked as an agent and he's like, someone the other day, my assistant sent me to a lunch that wasn't happening anymore. So I had to drive 45 minutes to this thing and nobody was there. So it's like, I lost an hour and a half, and in the course of a day, when you're rushing around, chewing up an hour and a half doing nothing is fucking terrible.
It's a lot.
And he's like, that's why people at these agencies are like throwing computers around the room. And I get it. I'm not condoning that shit. Like I'm not going to treat people like that and I'm not going to fucking yell at people, but I am also like, I don't suffer fools either. Like I'm like, yo, come here, let's talk. I see you over there. I see you not doing shit. That's not going to work. Like I don't, like I'm cool about it. And I give people chances, but like, I get it. I understand that shit. I understand the stress of being in the front of something and like the stress of navigating a million things, especially like, the Nike commercial, right? Or like when we do Sadie Hawkins, like I was thinking about, we're planning Sadie Hawkins right now. Yeah. And I'm already thought about, fuck. I got all these people that I got to answer to that Spanto would have had to answer to. And they're all going to be angry. And they're all going to feel like I should be having this, I should be having that. And it's like, I can only do like, I'll do my best to take care of everybody, but I can't take care of everybody. Yeah. Because I'm not him. It's a lot. And I'm me. And it's like, and I don't know like everyone that he knew, and I know the key players because I was introduced to him and like, I know who to reach out to, but like, it's just kind of like, and in that talk with my buddy, he's like, yeah, he goes, you're probably going to break some eggs here. You're probably going to you might make some enemies, which I don't want to. Yeah. But I cannot make everybody happy. And my core thing is like, yo, this unit of these people around me who I spend 5 days a weekend, maybe 6 days, maybe 7 days a weekend in the office, these people who are on set with me, these people who are with me day to day, I need to take care of them. Yeah. First and foremost, they take care of those people. I got to take care of myself, take care of them. And then it spreads out from there. And then, there's homies I've known in the industry forever. I know who they are. They know who I am. We're homies. It's good. You're always good. Yeah. They know that. They don't have to ask. And there's just layers and layers and tiers of people. And I'm trying to do my best to accommodate, but things slip through the cracks. Yeah. So
you're not perfect, man. You're doing your best.
Nah, man. I'm not very far. Come on, man. I'm just like.
Is this the biggest spotlight ever on Born and Raised at this moment? Like that, so many eyes on it.
I think with Nike, I have to say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's perfect storm of so many things came together so many elements. Devin Booker, right? The cameos.
Yeah.
The way the film came together. The fucking score. Like all these things kind of converged. And then on top of it, they pour more gas on the flames by throwing it up at Staples Center and throwing it up in Times Square, which just elevates it to another level where I was like, whoa. Like that's something like, oh, we're next to like Nocta and fucking all this other shit. Wow, okay.
And
like,
for me, I'm psyched because you directed it. So this is like your like not directorial piece, but I mean this is Nike. This is like huge. It's awesome.
Well, and the funny thing is, I've shot Nike commercials before, like but not like this, not like 100%.
It's like a mini doc though.
And this is like everything came from like this is all me, right? Like there's no like agency going like we need like Nike was like go ahead. I said here's what we're gonna do, and they said okay, well. They didn't say much. They're like, just maybe take this out, and we don't like this noise and this, and like this dog thing. And I'm like, okay. I followed their lead, but everything I wanted to do was in there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how involved they are, like trying to get, like edit things and.
They're involved, but I think that they've been very respectful of the situation.
Yeah.
And I think that this is an instance where like they didn't have too much to say creatively. They just, they have their guidelines. They have their comms teams. And they say, well, okay, you can show the dog, but if the dog's growling, the dog is aggressive. Or you can show this, but maybe this happens. Or maybe they'd be like, you need more skate stuff. Like, yeah, all that stuff's great. Can you put Cost in it? Of course we can put Cost in it.
That was so cool seeing him in there, yeah.
Sick, right? And the sick
Is that Freddie Gibbs in there?
Yeah, it's Freddie Gibbs, Vince Staples, Eric Costin.
Yeah.
But more importantly, this is the real shit in this video, right? In this film.
I saw his brother and his dad in there, right?
Who?
Spantos' brother was in there and his dad?
Spantos' dad passed away.
Oh, okay.
Spantos' son is in there.
That's what it looks just like.
When the crowd parts and you see this kid, that's his kid.
Okay.
That's his kid. But listen, Soul Assassins, Muggs, Alchemist, Esteban, like Sam Kingston, like Cartoon wasn't there. He couldn't make it.
He did something in there, though, right?
But he did lend us a car. Yeah. He's there in spirit. We wanted to pull up and get a cameo.
So
Lee, obviously. But more importantly, the most important element to this thing was, like, for me, is Jesse Martinez. Juice, his kid. Hayden, fucking KB, Richard.
Who's the kid with the gold teeth?
That's Doo-Wop.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Cool. Yeah, that was something that Spanto put together. Spanto put that together. He had already done that before everything happened. So I got those teeth in the mail, and I was like, "Who the fuck did these fit?" Oh, it's for Doo-Wop. I was like, "All right." So like he had already done. Like he'd put so much of this shit in motion. Like, listen, I have to give him credit for putting like the fronts, the wall, like a lot of these things were his ideas. That they were going to be different components. Like one of them was going to be a lot of the stuff was going to be for photo shoot and this and that. And I tried to do the best I could. Like we made a photo shoot for the wall. We did the film. Like I know that there's things in this thing when it came out that would have made him insane because he was a perfectionist. But I also know I know when something hits too, and I'm like I can allow for it not to be the exact perfect thing if I know it hits. And I also know from doing this for so long, like there's a thing you write, there's a thing you film, and there's a thing you cut, and those are three different movies. I learned that. It's one thing I picked up in school. It was like, and it ends up being those are three different incarnations, and I experience that all the time.
Yeah.
I wrote one thing, I shot another thing, and I cut a third thing, and it ended up being this other thing. But if you go into it prepped with this great idea, by the time you get to the end, you'll have something cool to cut from.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came up with all this stuff. Like he wanted to do. I mean, I can say it. I don't know. He would fucking see. I have his voice. He would kill me. He wanted to recreate the I don't know which album it was. An album cover for Suicidal where they're on that hexagon thing and they're hanging upside down like bats.
Yeah, was it first album?
I think it was the first album. Yeah, they're at the beach and they're hanging upside down like bats.
Institutionalized album with all that stuff in there. The first album.
Yeah, and he wanted to recreate that, and that was the hardest thing. Like we were going back and forth. I was trying to get art directors. Nike was like freaking out. They're like they didn't want to cover. I think it was a Glenn. No, it wasn't Glenn. I don't know who did the photo, but it was a debacle.
Might have been Freeman. Yeah.
It was a fucking debacle to do this.
Okay.
And it was like we would have been better off just going and doing it and not saying a word. But we told Nike about it and turned it into a whole fucking thing.
Wow.
Everything goes up their channels and then there's lawyers and a lawyer is looking at this shit and going, a lawyer doesn't understand the history and the references. They're just like, why are these kids upside down and fucking on a octagon jungle gym?
Yeah.
And this looks dangerous. And what does it mean? Does it mean that they're vampires? Like, who the fuck knows where they're from? So, but
good point. Yeah.
The thing I'm getting to is like the most important core part of this thing was the people from Venice. Spantos people.
Yeah.
Right? Those are his fucking people. That's his neighborhood. And they fucking pulled up.
Awesome.
And, Hayden did the wall ride. Fucking Juice's dad. Like, we had on set, we had, I can say this, but like, costume was reading the line, and Juice's dad, Jesse, we're talking. I'm like, Juice is like, hey, have my dad wants to take a crack at it. I go, he does? And Juice read the line, and Jesse read the line, and it was like Costin killed it, but when Jesse read the line, it was like a different reality. I had both takes, and I had to pick one. But when Jesse read the line, he said it with such gravity. He was like maybe the best part of that whole thing. Like he's the guy, he says, we ain't going nowhere. And he nailed it like in one take. And he did a couple, but he nailed it. I was like, God damn. Like you're talking about it. You're looking at this man like that's Venice right there. It's a history. Like you're looking at a historical fucking person who's been, he was part of the whole thing. I mean, Jesse was, when I was a kid, he was known for fucking beating up rollerbladers who got in his way, legendary. And but yeah, like he, that kind of shit were those moments where it was like, like I tried to honor as much, like he wanted to do generational stuff. So I had Jesse, Juice, and Juice's kid, Rocky, right? So like I tried to do it. I tried to get Tim Jackson there, but I couldn't get him there. I was dying to get Timmy over there. Like, I was like, please, will you come do this like wall ride? He's like, I'm in the desert. I got to set up for a show. I'm like, fuck, we built this wall for you. Like we built a wall just for this one dude to do a fucking rail slide. Yeah. Not a wall ride. But anyways, Maddie did the fucking, did the trick. But, shout out to all them boys. Like, they crushed it. They did. I know that they did this all for him. I know they love Spanto. Spanto was like the big brother to all those dudes, and little brother to some of the older ones. But like he was a fucking linchpin force figure. He was a star in that neighborhood and outside of. Yes. He really, and he was a star. I mean,
you can see it all through Los Angeles, everywhere, man. This piece is everywhere.
He was a star. He literally had star quality, charisma, and all that shit. He was.
The Nike thing's almost like, it seems like a trailer for like a full doc or something to me, man.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got that energy, you know what I mean? Like something's coming too. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would like to.
You killed it, man.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it was really, I don't know, it all collided together. And like the funny thing too is that, the funny thing about the shoe is that this shit was sold before we even saw the film. I was like, it's already gone. Like I could tell by the energy. It was already out. Like I could have just shown a picture of the shoe and been like, go get it. But then we're like, also look at this. And like for me, I know that, but I want to make the fucking film. Like that's important to me.
Yeah, you did it.
This is something that, I'm making these films from day one with Spanto when we did the first film, the black and white thing with his dad singing blues and him getting like hopped in and the whole thing. Like we did that stuff. My take on making these films is like, I want to make films about people. Like I don't want to make fashion films, and I've never shot a fashion. The only thing close to a fashion film in any regard with Born and Raised is maybe the Levi's thing, but it's not. It's interviews. Yeah, and it's not about fashion. It's about the gravity of like men who didn't have fathers. I mean, that's what that film's about, and the gravity of their lives. How that affects them. And like, anyways, but yeah, from day one, I've just been trying to make these, like I called them mini narrative docs. I'm talking like 1 minute to 3 minute like pieces, and I'm just trying to push it forward every time. And also now I'm like, okay, I did that Nike thing. What's next? Like how do I go forward? Like I know what I want to do next. Like I know, like I want to keep pushing that. I want to keep pushing that narrative a little further, and I want to keep it. And it gets harder to do, but that's what I'm trying to do. Like I don't want to go backwards.
No, not at all.
I want to move on from this and like build more.
I'm sure people reach out to you too moving forward. Okay, you direct this, do that, now the scene, all that stuff.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like I know
you did it before, but
yeah, I'm repped at it. I have a commercial rep. This company called Reset. Like they have me, but
this is like different. I don't know.
This is different,
Nike
yeah. But I think people think that I don't work outside of Born and Raised. I'm like, I'm happy to. Yeah, I'll take you. Let's go. You want me to shoot you a commercial? I got you. Like it's
Yeah.
I love shooting them, and I want to do it. So like I think people will. I think there will be opportunities, and like I just have to look at what I'm available to do, what I have the bandwidth for. Yeah. But what do I want to do? I want to make fucking Born and Raised films. I want to make features. I want to do all that stuff.
It's crazy that you missed us when we're gone. That t-shirt that came out was it 2013, 2023?
It's crazy.
That's what the t-shirt said on it.
Yeah. No, it was prophetic, and like that t-shirt was me in 2013.
2013, yeah.
And I said, Spanto, I got a 10-year window. I'm out. There's no way I'm making t-shirts into my 50s, right? But he left. Yeah. Which is like weird because I remember he like, we had conversations about it when the year came up, and we're like, should we shut it down? Like maybe we pretend to shut it down, or we we shut it down from like, I remember when I was a kid, there would always be rumors that like a rapper died, you know, before the internet. They'd be like, Too Short died in an earthquake, you know, and it would be so funny. Or like someone would be like, this is my last album, you know.
Yeah.
We were talking about doing one of those plays. Like, I'm not going to do it now, obviously, because I blew my fucking cover, but I was going to be like, and obviously you can't, but we were going to maybe say like, okay, we're going to tell people, okay, it's over, you know, and then like shut, you know, just go quiet for like a couple weeks, see what people did. And then
it's almost like reborn and raised.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all all the things that have happened around this like are very weird.
Is it saying memory of on the shoe too, or no?
Yeah, it says in loving memory on the shoestring. Yeah.
And is it true he passed on the same highway where his dad had passed? Is that?
I don't know if it was the same highway, but they both had a very similar accident.
Okay.
Yeah, and they both were leaving ceremony.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So, which is like crazy.
I love to shoot one block at a time on there. It's hard, and like on the turf, all that shit's so good, dude.
Yeah, on the turf, you know, on the turf comes from like the on the turf phrase is really about like, you know, neighborhood shit.
Yeah.
But also it's something that people would say, like, you know, I put that on the turf. You know what I mean? And I remember Spantos saying that, and I was like, putting that on a shirt. I was like, that's a catchphrase, you know?
Yeah.
That's our just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and we got that, you know, if you watch it, it's prevalent in like, you know, the thing about this stuff too is if like you go back and look at it all, like these things have been played like one block at a time on the turf. Like this has been running through this shit for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know? And it just ends up like.
But now it's on a Nike.
Now it's on a Nike. Yeah.
Which is so crazy, man.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm sure Sponsor, he's proud of it.
It's crazy. It's
looking
crazy.
down and just seeing like everything, all the love and just it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
All the stuff coming. It's actually happening.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know if there is the one thing I do, you know, I don't know what exists when I don't think any of us know.
Yeah.
But if there is something there, I would imagine that when you pass, you get to have peace and perspective. And I would like to think that like anything that made him angry is gone.
Yeah.
Anything that stressed him out doesn't exist. And then he would have, you know, that's like ascension, right? Like if you can do that here, if you can get to a point where you're just like, it's all good. I don't care. You're mad at me. You don't like this guy. It's fine. Yeah. Like that would be, you know, the ultimate goal is like you kind of move, you know, you move through it all and just kind of go, fuck it. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, and it's ridiculous. This is like, life is insane, man. Life is crazy life.
You think he felt those flowers when he was alive that he's got now? So loved, man. He got his flowers when he was here too, though.
He definitely got his flowers, but no one gets them. Like imagine how weird you'd feel if like you all of a sudden you went out and like people were doing murals of you. You'd be like, why? You'd feel like I would be like, what the fuck's going on? You know, you'd be creeped out. You'd be like, why is this dude doing a mural of me? Yeah. So like you really don't want your flowers when you're. I mean, maybe
I know what you're saying, but like
actually no, scratch that. He would fucking love it. Spanto would love that shit. He'd be like, fuck yes. Yeah. The thing about him is this. I asked him on the set of the Levi's commercial. I was like, hey, can you say to me that you're a success? Do you feel like you're a success? He's like, no. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm like, you might not have everything that you want, but this is a success. This company is 10 years in. It's working. Yeah. We've built a brand. Like it's done. Like if we let off the gas right now and just ate shit, it would still go on for years. Like let's say we did something stupid, like we fucking tapped out and like something fell apart and had to sell it to like some other thing, it would still go because the brand is rock solid. Yeah, it would be living in a shitty form, but it would still go because we built a brand. And that's the thing I was saying. Like this was his first time out. Like it takes a long time to figure this out. My first company, I made every mistake you could ever make. It was terrible. I mean, I did terrible shit. Yeah, stupid shit. And not that he had a knack. He was a natural. Once he figured it out, like once it all clicked in for him and he got well and he wasn't sick, he was off and running. But like there were things that I would say like, don't do this, and he would say, well, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, okay, and I said I can't stop him, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let him do it because he'll figure it out on his own. Yeah, you know, and like. But also different paths. Like it probably would have worked. Like he was that persistent, and you know he was a force. He was relentless. Like he was working 7 days a week. He was nonstop. He would call you at fucking Sunday night, like 11. You know, where's this? What's it? You know, yeah. He call like Esteban would be like, yo, Spanto would call me at like Friday at 8 and be like, can you pull up at 7 o'clock in the morning? And that was his homie, so he would do it every time. Be like, all right, and he'd pull up. You know, like. That's what Spanto like. It was just like
nonstop, man. I always had ideas. Everything rolling is when you get stuff done.
Nonstop.
Damn, man.
Yeah. So, you know, it's wild. And I listen. I don't not I feel for his family and friends.
Yes.
That's really where the loss hits, right?
Totally.
Like I'm his business partner. We had a 10-year relationship as partners, and and that is what it is. But like, really, I feel the fallout with his family and people he was closest to, and that's really hard for them to deal with. And like, and I don't know, like I'm luckily in all the things in my life that have happened, I'm very lucky that I have a lot to do, because if I could sit and stew on all these things, I would be a mess.
Yeah.
And so I'm just running, and I'm running as fast as I can, and I like it that way. I want to run. Like I'm good. Like I'm going to take myself out of the game for a minute and go on a break, because I feel like if I don't, I might have like an aneurysm or something. Something will happen. It's like the whack-a-mole. Like something's going to happen. Like, I always think
you got to do that.
You got to do that, right?
For your mental, yeah.
I always think about, I remember, and this is a really random thing, but like I always think about Everlast having a heart attack in the airport, right?
Yeah.
Have I talked to you about this? I talked to someone.
No, I knew it. I knew it had a heart attack. But.
Yeah, I don't know the story, but I know that he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And I think about, people have heart attacks from stress. Like, it's real. People have aneurysms.
Yeah,
your brain pops. Like,
yes.
I don't want to do all this shit to fucking end up like sick. Like,
yeah, stress is no joke.
No, stress is no joke. And that's the other thing I learned from Spanto, is like watching him be sick for 4 or 5 years, like deathly ill. Like fucking just, there are times when I was like, bro, you look like E.T. right now. We talk shit to each other.
Yeah.
And he's, his face would fucking expand, and he'd turn white, and he was deathly ill. It was terrible. And I remember seeing that, and there's 2 things I took from that. One is like, he was irrepressible. He would run through all of it. The minute he got out of bed, like, and he could walk, he would be like, and then he'd go back down. Yeah. That I don't know if I have that much like strength that he had. And the second thing I got from it is like, health is actually wealth. Yes. So when through that whole thing, I had a fucking relapse. I gained an astronomical amount of weight, because I was like, I basically had like a mini breakdown. Yeah. And I didn't have, I refused to have like a panic attack or have a nervous breakdown. I won't do it because I'm too proud. but because I wouldn't do that, I would just like gain weight. I'd just be like, be eating from stress. And I'm extreme. So I just gained a lot of weight. And I remember getting to that place where I had relapsed, and I got sober, and then I gained all this weight, and I was like, fuck, you know what? I can't, this is sick. I'm sick right now. I was like, I have to get well. And I basically says like, I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to put my health first before everything. So I put all the money I had at the time, which wasn't much, into like personal trainers, holistic doctors, like whatever I can do to get myself going. And it was a long stretch, a long 5-year stretch. And then weirdly enough, like, I've been in good shape for, the past 3-4 years. Yeah. You trained. Solid training. Yeah. But then when this year kicked in, I was like, it started in February, all this crazy shit. And I just was like, I just started losing weight. Stress, man. Stress. Like I couldn't eat. All I could do was get up and go to the gym. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go to the gym, take creatine, and like work out. And that's the only thing that's made me feel better. And I just started dropping all this weight like rapidly. People were like, what? How'd you lose weight? I'm like, yo, it wasn't me. It was stress. My heart was beating. Like I had been navigating death and heartbreak and all these things. And my heart was just like, all day. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I've never felt this way. And I also like, there was also a moment too where I was like, I remember one time I was going to my bathroom, and I was in my bathroom, and I was like, I started feeling weird, and I started feeling my head closing. I'm like, oh, well, this is a panic attack. And I remember I said to myself, I'm not doing this. I was like, I'm not doing a panic. I'm not. I just told myself, I'm like, we're not doing this, because I don't need to add this to the fucking repertoire. Like, I don't need to add this shit. I was like, fuck that. And I just I blocked it out somehow. But I'm stubborn, and I'm really good at disassociating. So I blocked out that shit, because I was like, I can't do it. I don't have time. Yeah. So anyway. And now you got the sauna, the plunge, you training, eating that's
better.
That's why I was like, you know what? I need the sauna, I need the plunge. I'm making sure I eat well. I have all my, it takes a village to raise an asshole. I got fucking shrinks and sponsors and fucking everything you need, because I need all this shit to keep going. Yeah. That's how I am. Like, I'm built. That's fucking, I've learned the things that make me work, and I apply, and I do those things, and that's how I work. And you know what? And I'm going to have to shift them. Periodically, they change. Okay, now this thing goes. Now this has to happen. Yeah. Now I found this new thing. Oh, I'm going to be a fucking archer now. I don't fucking know. Like, whatever. Yeah. Whatever keeps me going is what I need to do. But are you on caffeine too? Are you a coffee guy? Yeah. I just bought this stupid I was at high-end coffee machine. Yeah. I did a podcast. Kenny Beats. You know that guy? Yeah. I did a podcast at his studio, and And he had this coffee machine. And he's like, this is the YX49 or some shit. And I was like, and then he showed it to me. It's like a computer.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. I was like, that's cool. And I recently had to, part of me going back to Born is like, yo, I need a full-time assistant if I'm doing this. So I have a full-time assistant, right?
Nice.
I
Good.
I hit her with shit. I'm like, can you do this? Can you do that?
Yeah, she was on the text. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's on the text.
Sick, yeah.
Like, love Kat. Shout out to Kat. Kat's fucking Kat's holding me the fuck down. Kat took off. Kat took off for 4 days, and I was like, I very quickly have forgotten how to wipe myself. Like, I was like, what? How do I? I fell into this. I mean, I've always had assistants part time. Always, I've always had people helping me with shit.
Yeah.
But this is the first time it's been full time, 5 days a week.
Good, man.
Fucking run my calendar. She's in. Like, I had to let her into my life. I'd be like, okay. It took like a month for me to let her in my calendar because I have notes to myself, and I was like, okay, fuck it, you're in there. She's in my calendar. I gave her my email pad. Like,
it's awesome.
She's in my shit. So,
you need that, yeah.
So yeah, and I go, in passing, I was like, hey, get me the coffee machine that Kenny got, and then it shows up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this thing's like $1,000. I was like, what the fuck am I thinking? Like, I was like, what the fuck is it? Like, because anyway. So and
Did you keep it?
I kept it because I'm just. Because I hate returning things. And I'm like, I might as well use it. It makes espresso. It's sick. It makes espresso. You press a button and it makes you a perfect like little espresso.
Wow.
It just goes brr and it like does all this shit and it just pours you an espresso, which is for me like, it's an extravagance. But fuck it.
But it helps you work, helps you focus and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next after Nike, you think?
Well, we have
was there like a dream collab that Spantos had too as well, that like there was a bucket list for him as well?
When I told him when we started, I said to him, he again, first time out. Very, very nervous. Spanto was super fucking nervous. If you know him, you know he's nervous about shit.
Yeah.
And he was really worried about things working and not working. He would be he stressed the fuck. He was stressed. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, you got to meditate. You got to do something. He's like, you see him just pacing on the phone. Just like, like his stress was just like raw energy. Just like, just running, fucking yelling. And I remember telling him in the beginning, I'm like, hey man, like first season, I go, look, I'm like, I've been around for a minute. I've been doing this shit for a long time. I'm like, we got this. I'm like, we're good. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, trust me. This is good. This is really good. What we've built here together, this is solid. This is going to go. And he was like, I'm like, we're going to get it. I'm like, because the goal was like Nike and Levi's. We want heritage. Along the way, we've done Converse, Reebok, fucking everything else, right?
Dude.
On that path. But the big goal for me was always like, I bought a Nike medallion like years ago from Japan. I was like, because I've just been obsessed with Nike because the brand Nike's like Apple, like the branding,
same.
What Nike was in the early thousands, like the marketing,
yeah,
just the level of like, it's just excellent.
Yeah,
it just is, right? It's ubiquitous, and like that was the goal, and we got there. Year 10, we did it. We did both of those things because I wanted heritage. I want like the big like that for us. It's like beyond working with a couture label or something. That's as big as you're gonna go for us. There are bigger things, you know. But for our world, for what speaks to us is like, but there's also other things that are like, we're doing something with it. There's a thing called Gents of Desire, right? Which is a small crew that I'm a part of that I had actually put Spanto in. Okay. He was the last guy to get in. And we put him in Gents of Desire and through Alexis Ross, who leads that crew. It's a gentleman's club. Let's just say that. And we're doing a collab with Gents of Desire with Spanto. Spanto oversaw it. We did it with Alexis. We're doing it through Union. Like that stuff's really special.
That's cool.
It's not Nike. Nobody knows what the fuck it is, but I know what it is. Spanto knows what it is.
Yeah.
And people in the know what it is.
It's cool.
And it's beautiful. So there are things that like, we also have our sport, we have sports plays. We're always going to fuck with the Dodgers. It's ubiquitous for us. Kings, we're doing that. We have like, there's a few other things.
You did every team, man. Every LA team.
Yeah, we did. We did all the LA teams. We did a play with all of the NFL real quick. We're like, let's do every team. All right, let's see what happens. We did it. Fucking crushed. It was cool. Like, but I'm my whole thing is this. Before Spanto passed, he was like, we got to go back to day one. And that's music to my ears. Day one was like me with my point and shoot, making zines, shooting the fucking models, finding the models on the street, casting them, shooting them, drawing the grab, like us running around all the time, fucking around. Spanto climbing up on billboards and just doing Spanto two-tone tags, like
sick, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was the energy. And like that energy in the first like 3 years, like visually is crazy. Like, yeah. And I believe not to like, I think that we probably set some, like, I think we set some baseline for some trends at that point. I think we were kind of like, I think we did some stuff outside of the box that like probably influenced a few other brands, I would guess.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're going back to that vibe. just for a season. We're calling it archival, but it's like that energy of season 1, which is like raw, uncut, dangerous. You know, like we were just like we were, you know, like whatever the fuck was around us. Like my girlfriend at the time, I had her shoot herself. You know, she was in the zine. Then we made posters of her, like you know. Whoever the Spantos fucking pictures in a shoebox of like so and so's mom from the neighborhood, like that made it into a zine. That moved into a T-shirt. Like everything around us, everything from our lives was pushed into the brand and spread out to everyone else. So like we're telling our life story,
totally,
because it's necessary. Because we don't have we have a story to tell. We come from somewhere, and we come from somewhere very interesting. We're not like, you know, we're not a couple business majors or lawyers who are like, let's fucking sell some sneakers. Like we're fucked up kids from a neighborhood and who were very creative. Spanto fell into his creativity later, but he had it. He just wasn't, it never got nurtured the way it should have been. Yeah. I always tell Spanto, I'm like, yo, if you grew up in Brentwood, you would have been like the captain of the lacrosse team. It's just where you grew up. You know, you would have been a leader in another way. And you know, but yeah, all that stuff made its way into everything we did. And you know, and it still will, and it's still there, and I know the story. Like I was a part of it.
You are part of the story.
I'm part of the story. Yeah. Like if you look at the zines too, it's like I laid all those zines out myself, and it's 50-50. It's like some of it's also like contributors. Like you know, I had Nate, my buddy Nate gave some photos. Nate Walton, like for the first zine. It's just a random, you know. So some is like local people from LA, Venice heads, photos, drawings. We have a picture of like the Mark Twain graduating class, which I'm in. Like just, you know, random shit, crazy, just like whatever the fuck gets in there and makes it look good. Like, and that's how everything looks. Like if you look at my office right now, you know, the whole wall is just going to end up being like a collage. I'm going to cover it. Just like I'm going right into the fucking wall. I'm pinning it into the wall. I'm going to paint on the wall. That's going to be one whole, because that's the brand. It's like, it's just everything, our life experiences, all those photos in the shoe boxes, all these old fucking jokes, things that Homeboy used to say, the thing that happened over there, like that all gets converged and pushed into this thing and funneled out. And it fucking worked, which is crazy. Yeah. Which is crazy.
But it's also because it's real too, and people know that.
Right.
It's authentic.
It's more real than, like, I would say too, is like, we've had to dial it back. I've been like, yo, no.
That might be too hard or too severe.
All day. You can't even like, no, we've had to pull back on so much of it. Spanto's life is crazy. Yeah. The things that he's been through, like we can't, it's just. Yeah. So we've even dialed back a lot of it, but a lot of it we didn't. A lot of it we just let it go, you know, and yeah, I mean, it's been crazy, man.
It's great to see you and great to catch up, and also like, so much has changed since the last time you've been here, and really happy you're on your hot and cold life. And I want to give a shout out to Ryan Dewey from Plunge, who got you that refurbished plunge.
Shout out to the refurbished plunge, good as new.
Hell yeah, I just got one from my friend too. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. I'm in that motherfucker. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. You leave yours running all the time. Yeah. And the jets are on? Uh-huh. Okay, I just want to make sure, because sometimes I'm like this, because like when that thing's running and I go outside, I don't have time to get into it. I'm like, I'm just chewing up energy right now, and it's running, and I should be in it. And like, there's been weeks where I haven't been able to get in. Yeah, I feel guilty. I'm like, and people are like, it's on. I'm like, I just been told to leave it on.
It just stays running. Yeah, it's recycling the water.
It's not so bad, right?
No, it's keeping it clean.
Yeah, keeping it clean.
Has your electricity bill gone up from it?
I haven't looked.
I haven't looked either.
Yeah, I tell Kat does I have her doing the maintenance. She does like the clean. I go figure this out because I can't.
Oh, she does the cleaning in there.
Yeah, okay, she has the products. She does the cleaning. Like, I'm like,
it's cool you have somebody helping. You need that, dude.
I do. There's no way. There's no fuck. I can't.
You're only one person, man.
I have to run a house. I got a house. I got a whole fucking household. I got fucking laundry. I've had to have people be helping me forever. Like I've had a housekeeper since way before I could afford it. Wow. For fucking 20 years, I've had a housekeeper. Way before, and like someone put it to me one day. They go, hey. Because like having a housekeeper is a very kind of bourgeois kind of thing, right? Like it's like, oh fuck, you think you got money, But no, someone was like, would you rather spend that 3-4 hours a day working, or would you rather pay someone this amount of money for them to do it? And they put it to me in such a way where I was like, you're right. Yeah. And I've hired a housekeeper that's been with me forever.
Awesome.
Again, like
you trust.
Yeah, and my housekeeper, she's like, this is another testament to how weirdly stubborn I am. Like I won't get rid of her. And she just does whatever she wants. She goes, I'm coming tomorrow. And I go, what? She just tells me when she comes. And I'm like, and I can't fire her because like I can't wrap my head around it because I'm such a creature of I'm such a creature of habit.
But she keeps it nice though.
She does. She does her thing. She's great.
That.
At this long, it's like she can do whatever I don't care. But anyways, yeah. It's all like
What about the pod? The pod's gonna be coming back. I know you were going to like people's spots
the
and doing
pod's
the pod.
back. Yeah, no,
Good,
I've been recording in the studio.
Great.
I'm gonna be doing studio visits.
Studio video is a cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we just signed like a deal with like a podcast company. It's gonna bring in some more revenue, I guess.
Good.
It's still, we're still like, it's still being. I haven't had time to really build the pod, but my plan, what I want to do for the pod is, I would like to take it. I want to turn it into some sort of a show, like a travel thing. I want to do studio visits.
That'd be awesome, man.
And just go to people's studios, talk shit, and leave. And
I like that.
That's what I would like to do. I'd like to package it and sell it somewhere, which another thing I got to work on. A bunch of my 10 other fucking things, but
you get it done though.
I get it done.
I feel like you get everything done you want to do. You focus on is get it done. Yeah,
it gets done. Shit gets done. Somehow it gets done.
Yeah,
somehow it gets done, and I still get to get up and like meditate and go to the gym, do all that shit, and that's how it gets done. When I stop doing that stuff, nothing gets done.
Yeah. Well, hey man, thank you for being here. I'm psyched we connected.
Yeah.
Once again, shout out to Jessica who connected us, and
thank you, Jess.
you're the best, and I wish you the best with Born and Raised, and
Thank
rest
you,
in peace, Spantos,
Yeah.
and sorry for your loss, and
I
everybody.
brought you the T-shirt.
I know I got my first Born and Raised shirt.
There you go.
My first shirt. Yeah. I'm excited to represent.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, man, and everybody can find you everywhere, right? It's online, whatever.
I'm out there. I'm online. partially in the streets.
What the hell, Stella? And Born and Raised will have some stuff coming out soon.
Yeah,
right?
always, nonstop. The cadence is crazy.
And then what is what's that thing you mentioned, Sadie Hawkins? When is that?
Sadie Hawkins is.
I love the comment. Never been. I see great things about it, man.
Pull up, man.
It's hard to get into though.
It's hard to get in. Yeah, it's.
And when is that every year?
It's every year, like a couple days before Thanksgiving. And
soon.
Yeah, it's very soon. I was on a call about it today. It's like, where are we going? I don't know. What are we gonna do? How's the line gonna work? What the fuck's happening? What about security?
I'm sure it's gonna be hectic in there, man.
Every year it's hellish. Every year it's Walking Dead out there. I spend about 4 hours just being people in and out. Like, it's crazy.
Okay.
So every year I go pre-production. Hey, how do we make it so people can get in easier? And every year it falls apart because everyone goes, we got this. They go, this is what happens. Every production company we go with, they go, okay, we've done, this festival. I'm like, it's not like that.
It's not like that.
Everybody comes at the same time and they're wearing the best outfit they've had on all year, and they're pissed because they need to get the fuck in there because they know once they get in, it's going to be a blast, and it's the party of the year.
Okay.
It just is. It's LA's actual New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve is shot out. It's terrible. Terrible. This is a New Year's Eve for LA.
Okay.
So
hopefully I'll get in that shit.
yes, sir. I got you.
I'm not gonna be texting you, bothering you though. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys.
Bye. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations, US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.